BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radiopaque. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
CRM was supposed to improve customer relationships. Instead, it's shorthand for Customer Rage Machine. Your CRM can't explain why a customer's package took 5 detours? Reboot your inner peace and scream into a pillow. It's okay. On the ServiceNow AI platform, CRM stands for something better. AI agents don't just track issues, they resolve them, transforming the entire customer experience. So breathe in and breathe out. Bad CRM was then. This is ServiceNow.
Live from New York.
Yes!
It's a show that may or may not have shaved their head.
Wow.
If they could get an appointment with their hairdresser, we'll find out. For the audience, can you tell what happened?
Why is the camera on me?
Late last, because you're the only one wearing
Show
a
all of
hat
us.
on the program.
You guys claimed I'm not allowed to shave my head without
Correct.
your permission. I then got a call from one of our bosses that he pretended he was joking, but he was not.
No.
When he said, check your contract. And as it turns out,
That'd be amazing.
I'm actually not allowed to get a facial tattoo or shave my head. Anything like that, you have to get permission for. So this is the best I could do, America. I'll just wear a stupid ponytail all day because I'm covered in shame and regret and financial insolvency. It's the closest I can come to paying my debts without losing my job.
Also, for the record, Whit, if I want to get a Drake May face tattoo, you cannot stop me. You can take it up with my representative. First hour, first things first. Today, Mahomes and Kansas City Chiefs. Are they on the verge of missing the playoffs? The good news is, not according to the Athletics playoff prediction. Meanwhile, another 5-5 team, but this one keeps winning. Are the Ravens all of a sudden the most dangerous team in the NFL?
Wait, nobody thinks that.
I kind of do.
That was a great run.
That they're the most dangerous team in the NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
And finally, after a 6-touchdown performance, Josh's teammates are saying he's the best player in the entire league by far.
Yeah.
Are they right in this new style that's actually an old style play? Alongside Nick Wright, who still has his hair, I'm Kevin Wildes. Brew, congratulations on an excellent Bud list yet again. I think you're 9 for 9.
12 in
12 for 12.
4 weeks.
12.
It's crazy.
It's unbelievable.
So if you guys want somebody on the Bud list, Mahomes or your boy,
just
come see me after the show.
Don't put Daniel Jones on it this week. For the love of God.
Actually, he makes a lot of sense for the
love of God, man.
Well, look,
we need all the help we get.
See me after the show. I've got all week. You guys have all week to.
I don't have any money left to bribe you with. That's the bribe. I'm out of money. Yeah.
We're starting with the Chiefs. They're 5-5, currently outside of the playoffs after Bo Nix engineered yet another fourth quarter comeback. And dare I say it, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Here's Patrick postgame.
I mean, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. Like you gotta feel that, but you gotta be able to kind of use that energy to push it into the next week, into the rest of the season. And all you can focus on is the next game. You get another opportunity to go out there and prove yourself. And obviously, we've been losing these close games recently, but we've played some good football in spurts. It's just about being more consistent.
Okay, how shocked are you at the result of that game?
Dismayed.
Oh.
Completely.
All right, enough of the gibberish.
Wait, I haven't even said anything
I
yet,
have been
bro.
waiting years, Wildes. All of those FTF bowls where my Ravens let me down. Years, I say, not months. Years.
I know.
Drop the banner.
No, you have. Brew, you need to press it. Brew is going rogue.
Drop the banner.
What is the?
That's what you said 3 days ago.
One.
I will guarantee Chiefs win and Mahomes outplays Nick Wright.
It's probably a misquote because I doubt I said will. I probably said I guarantee. But,
there is no way.
Okay.
Something in that family.
So I was as evidenced by that.
I feel good.
I was shocked because they lost that game so many different times. Mm-hmm. Denver was better. Denver outplayed them. The most absolutely shocking piece of it was Bo Nix played a better overall game than Patrick, which I did not think was possible, and it happened, but fair is fair. I've watched every game of Bo Nix's entire career. I feel like that was unequivocally the best game he's ever played. He's had better statistical games, but against awful teams. So that's start to finish, I thought it was the best game. And what made it so painful, KW, was start to finish, there were moments the Chiefs come through that they didn't. First play of the game, they get a sack to put the Broncos behind the sticks. They let Bo Nix on that drive convert a 2nd and 16 into a 3rd and 7 and then a first down. And then later in that drive, they give up a 3rd and 11. First offensive drive of the game, second play, Worthy's open for 6. Just straight open. In your opening script, Mahomes overshoots him. Back-to-back drives inside the 15-yard line. They settle for field goals. In the second half, they would have had a 1st and goal from the 2 in a 6-6 game. Jawan Taylor's a foot in the backfield, flag, and then Mahomes throws a terrible pick on 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 14, whatever it was. In a 6-6 game, you don't have to press like that.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to score, but 3 points is what you needed. And then the 3 most painful parts of it. They have the ball up 3 in the 4th quarter. Mm-hmm. They go 3 and out. They have the ball tied in the 4th quarter with 4 minutes left. What Mahomes and this Chiefs team have made a living on for a decade. Got the ball 4 minutes, good job, good effort.
Yep.
We win. Go 3 and out. And then, after all that, there's 2 minutes left. Denver is in a 3rd and 15. Credit to Scott Kazmar for pointing this out. Over the previous 2 years prior to this year, the Chiefs gave up 2 3rd and 10s. Oh. 3rd and 10s in the 4th quarter of 1-score games. Over 2 seasons, they gave up 2. This year, they've given up 4. The Justin Herbert one in week 1. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts got him with 1. There was a penalty on a pick, Trevor Lawrence pick, in that comeback, but a penalty to give it to him. And then 3rd and 15 against Bo Nix to get the ball back, and you give it up. They deserve to lose. Yeah. I hate it. It's painful. It's not who they've been for 8 years, but they deserve to lose that game.
Yeah, and I talked about this at times last year of would they lose their mystique? I think there were games coming up, and I was like, well, if so-and-so beats them, they'll take that mystique from the Chiefs. And nobody did it until the Super Bowl. But that mystique seems to be gone. And in fairness to Denver and a credit to them, under Sean Payton, they haven't bowed to that mystique. Payton has not been afraid of them. Mm-hmm. Last year, they obviously played them tough, beat them without Mahomes.
Payton was talking trash at halftime.
Yeah, So, but that for other teams, particularly next week, we'll see how Indianapolis responds. But that mystique being gone is some of what we're seeing now. And the Chiefs last year, we know they were 10-0 in 1-score games. This year, they're 0-5 in those games. And Mahomes, you brought up, he has to be, look, we all know how great he is, but he has to be better this year. That interception, you said it cost them 3 points. It was tied 6-6 early 3rd quarter. Obviously, it cost them at least 3 points. But then Denver went down and scored their only touchdown of the game, so they go up 7. And that's the second. He's thrown, 6 interceptions this year, I think. That's the second one that arguably, cost them a game. Because Jacksonville, when the pick 6.
And listen, you could argue that the Philly one did as well at the goal line, but that wasn't his fault. But there have been 3 interceptions right around the goal line that flipped games. One, I do not put on him, but that is potentially the difference between the Chiefs being 8-2 and 5. And again, the Chiefs this year, Brew, are compared to at this point last season when they were 9-1. The Chiefs are averaging more points. Right. They are allowing fewer points. They have a better offensive and defensive success rate, and they have a better plus-minus. And so they are
it's the one
right,
score game.
But I am not. I believe that's what football is. Like, I am not going to sit here and be a hypocrite because last year, like when we talk about the Eagles, you'll probably be surprised. I will be very complimentary. I believe that the folks that try to small sample size football are just wrong. That there is a real skill to coming through in those moments and not making the critical mistake. And I don't think it's like, just regression to the mean. Right now, this team is getting in its own way, in a way last year's team, which was not as healthy or as talented as this year's team because of the personnel, found a way not to.
And let me give some credit to Denver. Because, I mean, obviously the Chiefs losing is a huge story, particularly in this show. But Denver now 9-2. Bo Nix not only outplayed Mahomes yesterday, this is the second straight game they've played against each other where I think he's outplayed Mahomes. These are their numbers. Remember last year when they lost 16-14 on the block punt? Nix's numbers were better than Mahomes' in that game. I mean, Nix played really well, and typically they would have won that game had it not been for the great block punt. But you look at the numbers, passer rating, touchdown interception ratio, yards per attempt, everything for the most part is in Nix's favor. Now, he has not been good in most games through three quarters, but he is clutch. And look at, you mentioned these passes, Nick. Look at these two passes. I mean, this is the last minutes of the game, and he makes this 20-yard pass. That's 3rd and 15.
It's 3rd and 15, and you get him off the field, you probably win the game.
And you got to give him, but like I said, give him some credit. And then this one, to get to the Chiefs, to get to the Chiefs, I think this is the one to the 15-yard line, 32-yarder to Troy Franklin. I mean, that is a great pass.
That's the last play of the game I saw.
That is a wonderful pass. Threw it in the right place. And so you got to give Bo Nix credit.
I still haven't seen the field goal. I listened to it. That play you just showed, that happened. I grabbed my keys, grabbed 75 cents to buy a cigarette, and
you didn't think there could be a second straight block
I listened to it I listened to it as a just in case. But no, I haven't seen the field goal. What are you about?
And look, bad news. They beat you without Pat Surtain, their best player, and Alex Singleton, their leading tackler.
At the same time, this is a little glass half full because
that means they're more dangerous than the Ravens, who you said was the most dangerous team.
Out of every team not in the playoffs,
well, yeah,
but for they've yet to beat a playoff team alongside the Saints, the Cardinals, the Titans, the Jets, and the Cowboys.
But that's a weird one because they've beaten Detroit and they've beaten Baltimore, who are favored to make the playoffs but are not currently in the playoffs.
Yes. So still odd as it is. Yes. At the same time, I don't think it's like, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to be dangerous in the playoffs. And I don't think any of us would bet against them in their first playoff.
Well, are we going to do is it time to panic? Do we want to do that now?
Sure.
Because I think that's what that conversation is.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do it yet.
Why?
I was trying to like land the plane softly, and now the producers are in my ear saying, not yet. We have a special guest, unfortunately.
If this is Greg Jennings,
even
who wasn't
worse.
even here, oh, sweet Christ, man. This guy's got a lot of, and a day after Justin Herbert throws for 80 yards. It's a lot of.
I just wanted to be on the winning side of the table.
Here we go. So we have another.
First place Bears, first place Patriots. Nice win.
Ravens on the rise, baby.
Nice win for your Ravens. Nice ponytail. Listen, I think no one is going to say that the dynasty is over, but one thing did officially end on Sunday.
This hurts me too.
What is it?
Sorry. T3 man lives! The tackle that meant absolutely nothing.
That is true.
Right? I mean, come on.
That is, Nick, it is.
The tackle that turned the
T6
tide.
is gone.
KW, this is a real test, KW.
It's
KW.
Remember, as part of my deal to get the trumpeters, I have to defend that. I think you're wrong.
T3
the
man.
tackle that turned the tide is, much like a tide, comes in,
goes
out.
You can't
comes back
judge it
again.
until.
I'm back.
Yeah, thank you, Kate.
Let's zoom out.
Well
Chiefs are
done.
5-5. More of Danny Parkins at 5 o'clock.
Nice ponytail.
Looks like their run of 9 straight AFC West titles over, currently outside the playoff pictures, which is complicated by the fact that the teams ahead of them, the Bills, Jags, and Chargers, all have a win over the Chiefs already. So here's Patrick Mahomes again.
Obviously, it's going to be tough to get back in the division race, but at the end of the day, all the goal is to get into the playoffs and try to make a run at it. And all you can focus on is next week. You got to learn from this one as much as possible, knowing that we're going to get a great opponent coming into Arrowhead this next week, and we're kind of at that point where we got to find a way just to win football games, and got to keep moving forward. That's what this league's all about.
Okay, here's a picture of the playoff picture. I kind of jumped the gun here talking about how I'm scared of the Chiefs, but hey, they're ninth place.
Ninth place.
Behind the Texans that we kind of rode off. At the same time, if I'm the number 2 Patriots, I do not want to see them at all.
Of course. What's the question, Kate?
Are you panicking? Or is it time to panic? Are we nearing time to panic?
You sadly see these stories sometimes with pro athletes. You see them a lot, lottery winners. People who grew up in very meager means and were fine, were happy. You know what I mean? Like they were living their life.
Yes.
And then got incredible wealth for a few years or a decade or whatever, a period of time, and then lose the wealth and they can't remember that they used to be able to, they were happy before the money. Like that they even though they had lived that way, they can't. That's how I feel looking at tiebreakers with the Texans and the Jags. I grew up in that world. We're like, can we scratch our way into the playoffs? Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, if this team loses and this team wins, it's good for us to make the playoffs. That was my whole life as a Chiefs fan, and it was fine. But now I've had 7 years of eating caviar.
Yeah.
And I'm not built for this world anymore. I'm not. I found myself this morning on that stupid athletic playoff predictor machine. Not just the predict, because you can toggle through and be like, if they win and they win.
No, you're
and
doing
the
all of
percentage.
them?
I'm going through it, and I'm like, I am all of a sudden trying to tease out when the Jags play the Colts, who do I need? And I'm like, this is what it's come to.
Yeah.
So that is a way to answer, kind of.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
So this would be the math to it. They have 7 games left. They are favored in all 7. Whether they should be or not, they are. If they go 7-0, obviously they're in. If they go 6-1, and that would mean they finish 11-6. They almost assuredly are in. 5-2, it gets dicey because they don't have these tiebreakers.
Yes.
And 4-3, they're done. They're out. They're not making it at 9-8 with the bad tiebreakers.
Yeah.
So I believe they will make the playoffs, and I believe that if they make the playoffs having won 6 of their last 7, to your point, and where we have seen them, the level they played against Baltimore, the level they played against Detroit, I know they're a terrible team, but the total start to finish domination they did to the Raiders, I do think that, the 30 to nothing.
That's how far it's gone.
No, I just mean.
Well, Nick did always like the Raiders.
Yeah,
he thought they were.
I'm agreeing with what you were saying. Like if they get in, they will be playing at a level that you will feel like with the wide open AFC and unproven quarterbacks at the top. Like if they get a rematch, if they beat Denver and Kansas City, which they're going to have to, and then they get a rematch of this game, you're going to feel okay about it. But,
buddy, from now on, looks like we're going to have to carry the show.
What?
Just you kept on going down the road, and like we got it.
He's struggling.
You can be. The Ravens will be in. Patriots will be in. You can support us. pick a team to like really ride with us?
I feel better about the Chiefs than the Ravens. But that's a separate.
Not
discussion.
chances of making the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the one tiebreaker the Chiefs have. Now I know
I'm counting on
your hopes is the division. Yeah.
Well, I am, and I alluded to this last week. If they lost this game, which they did, I would, for the first time this season, think they might miss the playoffs. And I am now at, Nick, and this probably isn't high enough for you. I feel like 55% that they will make the playoffs. Like 45% that they won't.
What did you say that your athletic playoff predictor
57
said?
right now.
57.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Look, I think, like I said about the Ravens, that Chicago game coming out the bye to me, that was their season. If they won that, I'd feel good about them. If not, I feel like next week's game against Indianapolis, which obviously is a good team, to me, that's the season for the Chiefs. Like if they win that game, I'll feel like, okay, they'll be fine. They'll right the ship. If they lose, it's not just the math. They'll be 5-6. Like you said, if they won out from there, they'd be 11-6. But I would feel like if they've lost 3 straight games, one of them coming off a bye, 2 Daniel Jones would be the 3rd straight loss, I just wouldn't think they're good enough to win out. You know, I mean, Houston, not that they're a very good team, but their defense is kind of like Denver's, and C.J. Stroud will be back by that point, presumably, and then they'll still have the Chargers and the Broncos again. So I would think they're not going to win out, and their record just won't be good enough to make the playoffs.
I think it's probably going to come down to the Chiefs and the Chargers for the final spot, which also, and I'm not trying to get too far ahead of us, but I just want to plant my flag on a potential interesting moment. The Chargers' final game of the year is against Denver. Now, Denver maybe will be super incentivized to win because they're trying to get the 1 seed. We'll see how that goes. It's also in play that Denver has the ability to keep the Chiefs out of the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like again, it would have to be.
If Denver had wrapped up the division,
they would have to be a very narrow spot of they've wrapped up the division, can't get the 1 seed, and then be like, we don't care if we're the 2 or the 3, whatever it is. I don't know, but I just know that
interesting.
That Jags game is right now the fulcrum of the season because because they lost the tiebreaker and the Jags. I mean, by the way,
sorry, you want to end it?
Give me this.
Sure.
This is an outrage.
It didn't feel right.
Thank you. Get rid of those. Let's move on.
All right, let's head to Philadelphia, where the Eagles hung on thanks to either excellent defense, an offense that does just enough, a will to win, or a bogus pass interference call. Here's Sirianni postgame.
I'd like to win every game by 30 points. I don't think that's a reality of the NFL. We take pride in winning. I think our guys have this knack of knowing. I think as I watched football today, I feel like I saw a lot of like teams waiting to lose. Our team's waiting to win because they know how to win, and there's something to be said for that. Of knowing how to win and knowing how to figure out ways to win.
I like that. Wow. News today, Lane Johnson, Liz Frank out 4 to 6 weeks.
It's tough.
Brew,
That's a big deal.
I have the Eagles going back to the Super Bowl. Should I feel better or worse after last night's game?
You should feel fantastic. Fantastic. You don't?
Not necessarily, no.
Why not?
Am I being set up for something here?
Definitely, but you can't see it coming, so go ahead. You obviously are being set up.
You don't feel good. They just beat the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Held them to 9. They averaged 30. They held them to 9 points.
The defense is great.
What's not to like?
The defense is great. Defense wins championships. I love everything about that. At the same time, I'm an Eagles guy because I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. And this offense reminds me of Soylent. Do you remember Soylent?
Can I tell you something? I only remember it because once a year you bring it up on the show and you're like, do you remember Soylent?
So do you remember when I brought it up?
Yeah, because it's a meal substitute that gets the job done, but no one enjoys it.
It's sludge. It's also green sludge that's popular in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And it's got all the vitamins and minerals you need, and you take it and I think you squirt it into your mouth like one of those applesauces for children. And it works. But there's no joy in it.
Okay.
And it's not exciting. It's just
You know when the joy
done.
comes? When you wake up the next morning with energy. That's when the joy comes. And for the Eagles and their fans, you know when the joy will come? When they win back-to-back Super Bowls.
You think this team is winning back-to-back Super
No,
Bowls?
they weren't my prediction, but I think they're certainly capable. Enough of the hand-wringing over the Eagles.
Yeah.
All right? They have beaten the Chiefs,
Yep.
the Rams,
Yep.
the Buccaneers, the Packers, and the Lions. I mean, what are we talking about? I'm not caught up on style points. Okay? If you want your food to look all pretty and cute, then fine.
I'm not style.
But it
I'm
gets
big on
the job
real
done. It
points
gets
too.
the job
They scored
done.
26 points over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and they've
walked away
held
with
two
wins.
Super Bowl contenders to 16
I
points.
just like complimentary football. That's all. I like all three
Jalen Hurts
phases.
and crew haven't shown you enough times that they can score when they need to.
Why?
Because you know what Brew's trying to do.
Hey.
You know what Brew is trying to do.
He don't even care. You heard him. Hey. If somebody was trying to take your girlfriend and you were like, hey, whatever. You don't want her.
Brew.
Do you want the Eagles?
First of all, the Patriots are my
See,
wife.
There we go.
Okay.
The Eagles are
exactly.
I don't even want to go
a
down
fun
this
weekend
road.
in Vegas.
It's just a friend.
Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you.
He gave me the Eagles last year.
I'm telling you, Brew is known the last couple years for having his NFC Super Bowl pick start looking a little gamey and then swooping in for one of ours.
This is really an indictment on the Packers. That's a
right.
show format.
Correct.
No,
I mean, a little bit. We'll get to the Packers later. Can I say one thing
I
about
just
the
know
Eagles?
the Eagles are apparently available.
Yeah, I mean,
all right, I'm still with the pack. But
They totally are, as I've been saying, last year's Chiefs, for good or for bad, where they keep winning and people. Now, last year's Chiefs seem more united. But where they keep winning and people keep saying, I didn't like how they won, and the internet whines about bad calls or missed calls that didn't actually matter. Like, so
that was a terrible
That
call.
pass interference call at the end was terrible. But Jared Goff was not about to all of a sudden to start playing well. And so I'm not defending the call.
Right.
What I'm saying is there is just a lot of similarities to me of the defending Super Bowl champion not giving you the warm and fuzzy feeling it gave you the previous year, but their schedule's been a gauntlet. They keep winning football games, and people keep complaining about it. With that said, the offense has been brutal, and Lane Johnson for years has been called the most important player on the offense. I mean, I understand it's the quarterback, and so I do think Lane Johnson being out, if he is out for the playoffs, it would change what I think about their chances. But if they have such a lead in the division, it doesn't. Like, if he's just out 4 to 6 weeks, which I don't know if we can trust the reporting these days, but if it really is that, then they can deal with it.
They've got Cowboys up next on Fox.
But they could lose 3 in a row and it
That's
won't
a tough
matter.
division.
Yeah, but
I mean, I'm not saying they will.
Fireworks against the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You like gut out another.
Buddy, you want to see fireworks ever. The offense has been what you've said.
Are the Ravens robe ready? That's next on FS1 and the Fox Sports Channel on Sirius XM.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. If you're hearing me, I'm going to assume you're awake. And if you aren't, because while you're snoozing, someone else might be finding your dream home. That's where Realtor.com comes in. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, that's a lot of chances to find the place you've been dreaming of. Whether you're searching for a 2-story mid-century with a pool or a little extra space with a spa-inspired bathroom, Realtor.com can help you find it today. So quit hitting that snooze button. Realtor.com isn't sleeping on finding your dream home, and neither should you. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pro's #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
Just got news that we are back to being #1 on the podcast charts and in YouTube. A little glass half full. When the Chiefs lose, people really tune in. Rocketed us up to #1.
Yeah.
That's great.
I also think maybe Mr. Beast's Saudi ventures hurt his popularity.
No. Welcome back to the show. Greg Jennings is here. Bruce Ravens predictions keep on coming true. Defense only allows 9 points. I'm not counting the pick six, but that's not your fault. Right. Baltimore escapes with a win over the Browns to get to 500. Here's Harbaugh.
We're 5-5. Our head's just above water. We're just above water. We're breathing. We're not even out of the water. But what you saw out there was a tough, hard-fought game against a really good team. I mean, the Browns are a very good football team. They're a tough, determined team. It's a typical AFC North battle, and I'm proud of the guys for the way they played.
The Browns, I don't know how good the Browns are. Brew, do you feel better or worse after yesterday's game?
All right, first of all, shout out to my hometown Cleveland Browns. They are the toughest, most ornery to-win team you're going to find. And I mean, that sounds, I mean it. I mean, that's a
Myles
tough,
Garrett's
it's
one of the
a
greatest
tough
players
win
in the
over
history
that
of football.
team. Yes,
like,
they are
legitimately one of the
they some
greatest players
hardcore
ever.
dudes, but, you know, enough about the Browns. The Bucs!
Oh, the box is back.
Why?
Thank you,
Brew.
Hubs.
You guys know that every week I'm going to break something else out of the, you know, my attire, my bit. But I got to be honest. I actually moved a little further away from the robe yesterday.
Wow.
I almost took the Jordans off.
No.
All right? Yes. Because that, look, Greg knows this more than either of us, any of us. A win in the NFL is a win. And every win is tough and hard to come by. Sure. So I will take it, especially when you're 5-5 and need every W. But they didn't look great.
Don't say.
Now, what I will say, though, is this. If one of their areas needs to look bad, right? Because with the Ravens, it's been something. It's the special teams. It's the penalties. It's the defense. The defense obviously playing well. Special teams and all that's been fine. It's the offense right now, and in particular, Lamar.
Yeah.
Yesterday was his first 0 touchdown, 2 interception game ever, which is saying a lot. What's this, his 8th, 9th year? And so I'll say this, though. If one area is not playing well, I would like it to be the offense because I have the most confidence in them turning it around. Right. Like, I feel very strongly that Lamar, Derrick Henry, and company will get things going offensively. So, with that said, I will take the win. The robe, not yet. That's for darn sure. But 5-5, still feeling good about them, and they'll keep moving toward super. I feel extremely confident they'll win the division.
Even after the Steelers got a win yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
But right now, they do not look like a Super Bowl contender.
Correct.
Even if the Chiefs, by some way, don't make the playoffs, the Ravens don't right now look like the team that's ready to take the torch. So they still have a ways to go, but I think they'll get there.
Yeah, interesting to me, like you talk about their offense. I'm just going to talk strictly about Lamar Jackson. He can't play like that. And there's a couple levels to this. Not only, obviously, the interceptions, and regardless of how they were
right, 'cause they weren't all his
the
fault,
tips, whatever. It is what it is. The frustrating thing to me when I watch this amazing, electric player that we've not seen in our game, Michael Vick, obviously, closest thing to him. He doesn't use his legs anymore. He just does
you
not.
Think he's 100%?
I don't care, Wiles. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why.
I don't. Close enough.
I'm going to tell you why I don't care. And I don't mean I don't care if he's not 100%.
Yeah.
I don't care that if he isn't 100%, he doesn't even show the thought of using his legs. Because he has to understand he is the biggest and greatest threat that the Ravens have. I get Derrick Henry, and we all want them to run the ball and their identity and all the things. If they are going to throw the ball at the level that they are choosing to throw it with Lamar Jackson, and he's going to choose to extend plays the way that he extends plays and still take those hits, use your legs. Just use your legs.
Extend the play forward.
Be a threat.
Yeah.
Be a threat and impose your will on the defense to now make them pay attention to what you are and have always been as a running quarterback. I get it. They don't like that narrative.
Yeah, but part of one of the and this is where I'm trying to have a big holistic Lamar combo here. But remember in the offseason when they were like, if you remove running, Lamar's the greatest the passer of the football of all time. And I had the crazy take. I'm like, I don't know. Peyton Manning was pretty good at throwing the ball. Drew Brees. I think it is disingenuous for some of the biggest Lamar fans to pretend as if his prodigious passing numbers are not in part because people defend him in a certain way because he's so great with his legs. That is not a knock.
Right.
That is a compliment. That is, he has a trait unlike any other quarterback we've ever seen that forces defenses to play a certain way that he then, I guess, to your example, Vic had the trait as well. And with respect to our dear friend Michael Vick, Vic couldn't take advantage of those passing looks the way Lamar can. But if defenses start to say, he ain't running, then all of a sudden he gets defended a little differently. And if he doesn't counteract that by them being like, I'm now going to run, it's a problem for them. Yeah. So here's the point, and I said it maybe oddly, because I guess I do believe the Ravens have a higher percentage chance of making the playoffs than Kansas City because they have the two paths. They could theoretically be a wild card, but they also, the division winner, they could get in with 9 wins while the Chiefs can't get in with 9 wins. What I was trying to say is the reason I feel better about Kansas City is what you were saying about the Chiefs. If they get in, man, everyone's going to be scared because of their playoff history. Mm-hmm. I feel like Baltimore has the opposite thing working. Their playoff history is awful. So they need to be rolling. You don't look at the Ravens, to me, and feel like, oh, they snuck in, they backed into the playoffs, but luckily they're going to flip that playoff switch. You need to see the offense humming, the defense. You need to see them playing well, and I haven't seen it from them. I haven't seen them play a complete game all year. And Lamar hasn't been the same since he came back from injury, so that's all concerning.
Robe next week, quickly, Brew, against Tyrod Taylor and the Jets?
Doubtful.
Okay. We finally got to see Shedeur on the field. The results, mixed bag. He threw a pick, took a few huge sacks. Also was a great defensive play away from throwing a game-tying touchdown. Here he was after the game.
I don't think I played good. I don't think I played good at all. I think it's a lot of things, we need to look at, during the week and go and just get comfortable even throwing routes, with Jerry and throwing routes with all those guys. So I think that was my first ball to them all year. They gave me an opportunity. I ain't do up to my expectation and enough to get us a win, so I just got to take that one to the chin.
Your reaction?
First of all, I wish people would do a better job at not making utter fools of themselves in relation to this story. Like Stefanski says, acknowledges Shedeur, that, those are his first team reps. And people that know better are acting like that's insane, criminal.
Thank you.
When that is simply how it works.
Thank you.
And again, I understand why it is the media's job to educate the fans that hey, and I'm not trying to from on high, but we have insight to how these things work. Once the season starts, the backup or third string is not going to get reps with the first string ever. No. And we knew he didn't get it in training camp. So this isn't he was third string quarterback being treated like third string quarterback. So that's first of all. Second of all, the best defense of Shedeur is, guys, the Browns might just have no idea what they're doing in relation to this position at all, and we'll see how it plays out for him. He's now going to get his chance because I don't think most guys don't clear a concussion protocol within a week. Mm-hmm. Right. So now he will get reps, certainly in practice with the ones. He will get a Raiders team that might have been overvalued by some, and we'll get to see him with a full week of practice, whatever it is. But he looked in this game like a player that was not ready. He played like a guy who, that's why he had an unseated Dylan Gabriel, who has been the worst starting quarterback in the league so far this year. It doesn't take a grand conspiracy, and folks in the media who know better but have been just so warped by what their Twitter algorithm rewards are doing, in my opinion, Greg, the fans a disservice here.
You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on. As a former player, like my job if I were ever in this position, or when I watched guys who were in his position, when you get the opportunity, you must be ready. Especially it's paramount at the quarterback position, because we all understand any moment, any play, any hit, it can be your turn. And to have made some of the statements that we've heard him make, and I'm going to make this just solely about Shedeur. Some of the statements that he has made about other quarterbacks in this league, and he would be, or he feels like he should be playing, or he's better than some of the guys that have been playing thus far. And then to get an opportunity and to show that, I was disappointed.
You thought it was worse than just a rookie out there for the first time.
It is a rookie out there for the first time. We haven't seen a rookie quarterback that has not been a top day one draft pick, top first round draft pick, being treated like this. And so if he's going to be treated like this, I have to.
You mean the publicity?
The publicity, the expectations, the thought that we all have, because I thought he was great coming out of college. However, when I watched yesterday, he validated everything that Kevin Stefanski and that staff has positioned him, where they've positioned him. Third string, not ready, needs more work. Because when I watched the game, the greatest, and maybe you can fault some coaches, I don't know, but the greatest tool that a young quarterback has when he's thrown in a game is his cadence. Your cadence. Especially when you're not your escapability isn't that of the guy that's across the field from you in Lamar Jackson. Use your cadence. You already hold the ball a long time. You know that they're going to try to pressure. It's what coordinators do to young quarterbacks. They try to confuse them, muddy the picture for them, and yet it was almost like he wasn't ready for it. And it was so disappointing because he's had time to learn, to sit behind Flacco, not mobile at all, so you know he's going to use his cadence. You know he's had an opportunity to at least watch, even if he's not under center with those ones. Pay attention, be attentive to detail, and when your time comes, you can't miss like this. You can't miss.
Well, to your point, 4 for 16 is what he was. That's the worst completion percentage of any passer who's attempted 10 or more passes in the last 4 years in a single game. So it was bad. I agree with everything you guys said. And this is pure speculation. It looks to me in this situation like the owner of the team, this is from just reading what's going on and from, again, I'm speculating, but from stuff Kevin Stefanski is saying and stuff. It looks like the owner forced them to draft Shedeur, and then earlier in the year said, I want to see him play too. And it looks like Stefanski resents that, which is understandable, right? You're the head coach. I determine who plays, when they play, and stuff like that. And it looks like either because of the resentment or just, to Greg's point, maybe he sees in practice he's not close. This kid's not close to being ready. And as bad as Dylan Gabriel has been, his operation looks smoother than Shedeur.
It looks good until he throws the ball.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. Yeah. Like, it doesn't look like he's not prepared or not ready. And maybe Stefanski's seeing that, and then and because it hasn't really prepared him, because you don't prepare a project necessarily, and as you said, backups don't get those things anyway. So here's where I see this going. whether Gabriel's ready or not, and he probably won't be, if you're Stefanski now, start Shedeur next week. They play the Raiders, a bad team. If he cooks, which probably is unlikely, but let's say Shedeur cooks.
Then you have a decision.
Then you have something. Well, and you keep playing him. Like, you're looking for a quarterback. So let him play a few more games if he cooks. If he doesn't, if he goes out there and looks horrible again, then either immediately after the game or eventually you'll bench him, but everyone will see he's not ready. And the distraction of you got to play Deion Sanders' son, you got to play Shedeur goes away because everybody will see he just wasn't ready to play.
So I want to just add this last piece. This next game against the Raiders is going to be so important for Shedeur because I don't want to make it unfair. The game plan wasn't for him. So you come in and you still have to be ready. So now you get the week of practice. If you are to be the starter, it's going to be all towards you, and you should be able to perform at a better rate than what we saw yesterday.
I didn't know he thought it was that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radio paid. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
Bills win while Josh filled up the score sheet, both sides. 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, and one of his 2 interceptions is up there with the grossest plays of the year. Khalil Shakir, very impressed. Dude's a dog. He's just a dog. That's what it is, okay? There's no need to overthink it. I mean, he's unreal at everything he does. Yeah. The best player in the league by far, and he's going to show that every game day.
God,
Josh ran the numbers.
Yeah.
3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. Every game in the Super Bowl era, almost around 27,000. No one has ever done it. Josh has done it twice in 120 games. The one caveat, of course, who did it in 1954? Our guy.
Otto Graham.
Otto Graham.
Yeah,
great.
Otto Graham out here. What did Josh and the Bills prove?
I mean, listen, this is the way they have to play because of who their defense is. And this is what I was trying to say last week, and then we got to see it, which is I do not believe that their receiving core is so inept that the Josh Allen explosiveness can't exist. We saw it yesterday, and you just he has to tap into the old school Josh, which is going to have, like you said, he still is the guy that in his first playoff game ever was running down the sideline, threw the ball backwards over his head in mid. Like, that lives in him somewhere, and it pops out occasionally. Because he had the pick, he also did the mid-play forward pass, which he did in a playoff game against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
When he activates that mode, this is a compliment. When he activates that mode is when he is the scariest. And they just scored every time they had the ball and didn't turn the ball over. And of course, listen, I know how the deal for most of the media with Josh Allen, 6 days ago, they get blown out by the Dolphins. It's everyone else's fault.
Nothing he can do.
Nothing he can do. Today, he's the most talented player in the history of the position. I get it. I've come to peace with it. But this is what they're going to have to do because that defense stinks. So their path to a Super Bowl, Brew, is Josh Allen get on a heater for a month. And that was a great win by him. He was the reason they won.
Yeah, and the first thing they proved is that what I said about the Buccaneers, Nick's other Super Bowl prediction.
The Bucs were good.
Yes, they were good.
Yeah.
They were cute. That's what they were. Yeah. Okay, so that was proven. Okay. And secondly, I do agree with you, Nick. They have to let Josh be Josh.
Yes.
It's gonna come with some boneheaded plays, some recklessness. Let's face it. Because remember, a lot of people act like we say it on this show. You don't hear it on a lot of other shows. They took the ball out of his hands.
Correct.
They midway through last season when they went away from Stephon Diggs, or 2 years ago, when they got away from Stephon Diggs, they started running more. His pass attempts went way down. Last year was the case. Early this year was the case. And his turnovers went down. But they clearly did that, Joe Brady, the OC, so he wouldn't turn the ball over.
But they had a defense they could trust then.
But as they are now, they don't have enough elsewhere to win games with him playing that way. So they have to let him go Superman mode. And look, let's keep it real. A major reason that his Superman mode with the recklessness hasn't gotten him at least to a Super Bowl is Mahomes. That's it. I mean, he's been good in a lot of those games against the Chiefs, but he hasn't been able to beat the Chiefs. But if the Chiefs aren't as good as they used to be, or if they don't make the playoffs, then maybe he can win a Super Bowl or get there playing his reckless Superman style.
Yeah, we got the full Josh experience. Like, I think both of you guys are spot on about this is who he has to be moving forward. If you're a Bills fan, and this is the team that I picked to represent the AFC, it's a blessing and it's a curse. Because I say it's a blessing because we know he's capable of doing this. Yes. And when he does this, really good things can happen. The curse of it is because we know he's capable of doing this, the expectation is you got to do this every game. And more importantly, you got to do it when it counts the most in the postseason, when teams are literally going to say, well, they only got one thing. That's Josh. Let's take him away. And the expectation does not change. Josh, be the blessing that we all know that you are capable of being.
Yeah, KW.
Hard ceiling on this team.
Hold on.
Hard ceiling. This is all music to my ears.
Can I ask you a question, though, real quick? Dust, give us 30 seconds. I know we're late. If you are playing the Bills in a playoff game, if Magic Genie comes to you and is like, you get to pick their game plan.
Oh, interesting.
You're rooting for the Pats. Ball control, handoff to James Cook, but guaranteed 0 turnovers. Or Josh Allen loco mode. What are you more scared of? What are you as a Pats fan more scared of?
Scared is an interesting word.
Yes.
I'll table scared.
Concerned?
I would prefer crazy Josh Allen.
Okay, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, Tom Brady told Josh Allen, hey, sometimes you got to eat it. I will take a playoff turnover any day of the week.
With 6 touchdowns?
He's not. This is an aberration. If he wants to score 6 touchdowns every game, they're going to be hard to beat. Live from New York, the show is back in on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Yes, he's back.
I was never out on.
You have discarded him so many times.
How? When? Where's the proof?
You call him Trevor Lawrence.
No,
you
guys made me stop calling him the Prince.
You gave the buglers to Wilds. You don't even have them
or
anymore.
Did I?
We may have worked something out.
Oh, or did I?
Quick reprieve. Second hour, first things first. Today, did the Packers get their season back on track?
No.
With an impressive win.
That was
over the
great
Giants.
pass and catch.
I guess so. Meanwhile, Steelers in trouble. We're on wristwatch with Aaron Rodgers. Can't tell if he's going to miss time or not. But right now, we're talking about the Chiefs. They go into Denver and leave with a 500 record. Mahomes was harassed by the pass rush all game. Offense can't get past 20. As Bo leads yet another comeback. Here's a picture of the playoff picture. In the hunt, number 9. Not bad. Pretty good. In the hunt, right with the Ravens. Is KC officially in trouble?
That's 3 of Texans, Chiefs, Ravens, because the AFC's had the same Final 4 each of the last 2 years. Bills, Texans, Chiefs, Ravens. And 3 of the 4 of those are currently out of the playoffs, and the Bills holding on the 5 spot. All right, so listen. They deserved to lose yesterday. They lost that game on offense and on defense. They had the ball in the fourth quarter with a lead, went 3 and out, had the ball in the fourth quarter tied with 4 minutes left. Chance to just take the air out of the football, kick a field goal, get out of there. They win. I lose my 3.5, but so be it. That's why you don't bet on sports, kids. And they didn't do it. And then they had Bo Nix in a 3rd and 15. And that was the 3rd. Last year, the Chiefs gave up 0. 0 all year. 3rd and 10s or longer in the fourth quarter of 1-score games. 0 all year. This is the 4th one they've given up this year in 4 losses. Chargers loss, Eagles loss, Jags loss, and now this play here, which just can't happen. I dropped to my knees on this play, to be totally candid. I couldn't believe it. Patrick wasn't good enough. Bo played better. I cannot do what I did last week which is guarantee the victory and laugh at the idea that they would lose this game, and then not acknowledge the Broncos outplayed them and the Broncos were better. That's all true. It is also true that 10 wins for this Chiefs team might not get them in.
Oof.
It could get them in, but 10 wins because they don't have a tiebreaker with Jacksonville head-to-head, and then we'll see how the other stuff plays out. If they go, and I'm not saying they will, if they go 7-0 the rest of the way, they're obviously in. And if they go 6-1, 11 wins will get in, I believe. 10 wins might not. Now, the good part of that is all of the good teams they play are at Arrowhead, and they've been good at home. That's the positive.
Yeah.
The bad part of it is the Colts have 8 wins, or 9 wins? I don't know. 8 wins?
8-2.
8 wins. Obviously, the Chargers are fighting for their lives, and the Broncos are right now the 1 seed. And the Broncos might go into that game knowing we have a chance to end the Chiefs season. So all that's real. I still believe the Chiefs will make the playoffs, and I think all of us believe if they make the playoffs having won either 5 out of their final 7 or 6 out of their final 7, they will be super dangerous, assuming Patrick's healthy. But this is uncharted waters. They have been 5-4 before. They have not been 5-5 before, and it feels choppy.
Yeah, look, if they get in the playoffs, they may not feel like the team to beat, but they will be scary. Nobody will want to play them. There'll be a mystique there. I definitely, as somebody that picked and obviously pulling for the Ravens, I feel like they're in the Ravens' head. And I think they're not in Denver's head. I don't know if they're in Buffalo's head, but the Ravens, it'd be better if the Chiefs weren't in the playoffs altogether. But not only, Nick, did yesterday, I think, and this may be obvious, but it probably in the division, chance of winning the division, it ended Mahomes' MVP bid, would you say?
Unless they would have to go undefeated.
And even if they do, they probably still, we've talked about how generally the MVPs have come from the 1 or 2 seed. Yep. They probably won't win the division. So it probably ended that. And Mahomes does have to be better. Like that interception he threw yesterday cost them 3 points, and then Denver went down and scored their only touchdown. We've seen him, with the pick 6 against Jacksonville. That may have cost them that game. The pick 6, or not pick 6, but the pick in the red zone against Philadelphia, which was Kelsey's fault, but still it goes on Mahomes' record. So he has to be better. But as far as the playoffs, look, now New England and Buffalo, Indy and Denver are pretty much in. I'm going to personally say Baltimore because I think they're going to win the AFC North. Sure. But then Pittsburgh is now a wild card in that AFC North has a shot against the Chiefs. Yeah. And Houston is coming. Now they play Houston, so they'll get their chance. I think, Greg, the big game for the Chiefs is Sunday against Indy. I think if they lose that game, I think they're going to miss the playoffs, not just because of the math being 5 and 6, but I think, we have enough evidence now. They're not what they used to be, and they're not good enough to win out. They might lose to Houston. They might get swept by the Chargers. They might get swept by Denver. So it would just tell me they're not good enough to win out like they would need to make the playoffs if they lose to Indy.
So are they in trouble? I do believe they're in trouble. I'm not willing to sit here and say that they're not good enough to win out. And even if they lose to Indy is what I'm for the next 7 weeks.
He's saying they could win out.
They could win out now.
Yeah, and I'm saying this, and I want to reference this because I told you I'm not going to doubt and question this team and that guy, Patrick Mahomes.
A month ago, everybody was bending
I'm still not going to do it.
It felt like
what I will say is, if you're a team in the AFC and you see the defending AFC champs, the perennial Super Bowl contender, every single opportunity that you have on remaining on this schedule, every team is trying to put them out. Every team is trying to put them out of their misery. The same way you as a fan don't want to see them, the teams don't want to see them in the postseason either. Even though they feel like, they are gettable, they're more gettable, but they also understand if they get in, anything can happen because they have that guy and they've been there before. So are they in trouble? Of course. They're about to take everyone's best shot because everyone wants to be the team, the reason that we say they knocked the chance
and more so,
out.
and that part, but for the Colts and the Broncos specifically, they will look at those games as a chance to prevent Kansas City from making the tournament. And if you're the Colts and you feel like, wait, we might not have to beat Mahomes in the playoffs if we can beat them this week.
Knock them out.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one question before we move on? As you know, flag football champion Kevin White.
Are you asking me or Greg this?
I'm asking, I'll ask Greg, since, football minds. Flag football champion coach.
Same.
My analysis of this game was going to be like, they're going to harass Mahomes and the Chiefs can't run the ball. But I'm only a flag football coach, and I'm sure after a bye, they're going to have some sort of plan, and Andy Reid's great after a bye. Then I watched the game, it's like, they can't run the ball, and they're harassing Mahomes. Are you surprised that the game kind of played out in a very traditional way? There wasn't any real curveball there.
I'm not. I don't know if there's a team that the Denver Broncos hasn't harassed.
Yeah.
I don't think the reason why I'm like, this was a great win for the Broncos. I don't know if they're going to see another defense like this until they play the Broncos again week 17.
So just real quick, I said everything I said last week. I predicted the Chiefs to score 20 points in this game.
Yeah.
To me, what I was most disappointed with, listen, Patrick's pick was bad. He missed Xavier Worthy on the first throw of the game. You had opportunities, but I wouldn't have signed up. 19 points against what arguably is the very best, is a little different than flag football, the very best defense in the NFL. They're the best for a reason. The disappointing part is you couldn't get Bo Nix off the field on third and long repeatedly. That was, to me, listen, Patrick should have been better. If people are watching, I'm not letting Patrick off the hook. But despite how Patrick played, if the defense can make Bo Nix look the way he has looked most of the year, they're not in that spot.
Not in the fourth quarter.
Right, but they were. He did most of his damage earlier in the game.
I think their game plan was they threw deep a lot
to try to open it up.
Yes, they wanted to open up for the run, and they didn't connect.
Meanwhile, in Philly, the Eagles scored 16 points to get their 8th win. Defense flustered Goff all game as the Lions go 0 for 5 on 4th down. Here's Dan Campbell.
That's not going to be the norm. What happened today, I don't believe that's the norm. We could not quite convert. We were a little bit off. And I don't believe that's going to be here to stay. We're going to clean up a few things. We're going to find our rhythm, and we're all going to be better for it.
Here's a picture of the playoff picture. The Eagles are 8-2 and are slated for the bye. They've also got the best Super Bowl odds. Okay. Sorry. Are you worried about the Lions, bro?
Yeah, they're not as good as they were last year. Period. And I think they're still a good team and a team capable of making the playoffs, but they're not nearly as good as they were last year. And Jared Goff, and I know you guys are going to talk about him. I don't know if we have this graphic, but, we all know against pressure, he really struggles, and obviously they got pressure on him yesterday. These are his ranks. Now, he's completing 73% of his passes before yesterday. Yesterday was 37% against their pressure. So they got pressure on him, and that changed the whole game. And if you look at their schedule, I don't know if you guys have – their schedule is
coming up?
Yeah, coming up. I mean, they still, they're in a tough division. But you see they got the Giants, okay, but then Green Bay, the Rams still, Pittsburgh, Chicago. So they control their own destiny because they do play, their division is who they're fighting against, the Bears and the Packers. But I think they will, them or the Bears or the Packers, I think two of those teams will probably make it.
Yeah.
Maybe not three.
Because it looks like the NFC West is getting 3. San Francisco Seattle, the Rams.
Because they're scheduled too.
And then Bucs, Eagles, 2 NFC North. And if the Lions are S-Bob, here's another reason to be worried. Man, and Greg, you didn't like when I talked about this with Daniel Jones and the Colts. Maybe I was wrong. I think you'll agree with me with the Lions. They need to play in that dome. And Jared Goff is very unique. You give him great protection like he's had, particularly if it's indoors. He will put up numbers like he is one of the 3 or 4 best quarterbacks in football year after year. The offensive line is not as good as it was. That's obvious. The Eagles' defensive line dominated that game. Plus, it's outdoors. It's a little cold. It's windy. And, Greg, I hid something in your wardrobe. I don't know if you noticed it before the show. Look in your breast pocket. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. This guy.
It's been sitting there all show.
Sorry,
you didn't
Jared.
notice. You didn't notice because the tiny hands. You saw they reared their ugly head in that game. Greg, thank you. I appreciate it. So I would be worried if I were the Lions because their path now is like road games potentially in Green Bay or Chicago or Philly or even San Francisco in January. Like that part plus the offensive line not being what it once was. Dan Campbell calling plays wasn't this panacea that's going to cure everything. I think it's
in Chicago. Who would you take that game?
No, I would take the Lions.
In San Francisco.
I don't know about that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. But I just if they're S-Bob Wilds, we're talking about them winning 3 straight playoff games, maybe all on the road.
Yeah. They don't look anything like a Super Bowl team. Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely worried about the Lions. I'm worried about the Lions, not just because of what I saw out of Jared Goff when you pressure them, but their offense just looks a bit disjointed. When we first started talking about this team this year, if we throw away the Green Bay game, week 1, we know one thing about the Lions. They're going to punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
If they want to run the football, they're going to run the football. And this season, we've seen more often than not their inability to run the football. And Gibbs has been a player that they have deemed, with me, my eyes are telling me, a player we just got to get the ball any way we can.
He was
not only just in the running game, but when you're leading your team in receptions and receiving yards in a game where you're trying to you've targeted Amon-Ra St. Brown 12 times, and Jared Goff is just, I don't know what his issue was. I don't know if it was the weather. I don't know if it was the glove, the pressure. Maybe it was a combination of all of it. But his inability to be accurate yesterday it killed their offensive momentum. But more than that, it's because the pressure was on him to just deliver. They have no run game. Against these teams that they need to be able to run against, when you don't have a run game, Dan Campbell calling plays only made it even worse because it's like he can't even call the run. And I know he wants to call the run.
They didn't expect the Lions under Dan Campbell after that, that opening season when they weren't a good team yet, have not played hardly any games where in their week leading up to it, they're like, oh boy, we don't have an advantage in the trenches here.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what happened. That's what their game plan was like. They acknowledged that, and then you saw it play out in real time. Lions defense, the Eagles offense is so disjointed. Wilds, it's like, do we give the Lions defense credit, or is that an Eagles thing? I honestly don't know. But the Lions would have signed up at any point. The Eagles aren't going to get to 20. Can we win? And instead, the Eagles controlled every aspect. The only reason it was 1 score was because Sirianni did another goofy decision at the end.
Let's head to New York where the Packers righted the ship. It's Micah Parsons stripped Jameis and spoiled his debut. Jordan Love threw 2 TDs. Green Bay 6-3-1. Somewhat good news. Josh Jacobs left the game but reportedly will not need surgery, so that's good. Here's Jordan Love on the win.
It's exactly what we needed. We came in with the mindset, it's going to be a game, it's going to, whatever it takes. We got to find a way to go get a win and get us back on track. So, like you said, it's never going to be pretty, man. It's the NFL. You got to find ways to go win these games, and obviously was a close one, came down to the end, but we stayed together, and guys just found ways to keep making plays all the way to the fourth quarter.
Okay, Bruce, your faith restored after a win over the Giants, considering that 35 minutes ago you wanted to become an Eagles fan.
No. I'm still with the Pack. But it's like the Ravens. Like, no, I'll take the W, but they have to keep improving. Now, I do think J-Lo played well. We saw the game-winning pass, perfect placement, great catch by Christian Watson. But yesterday, I mean, you look at his numbers, 13 for 24. They had 7 drops. 7 drops by the receivers. I'm not even counting the ones by the defensive backs. They should have had like 3 or 4 interceptions. I'm about to call Brian Gutekunst and tell him get Greg Jennings back on that roster. And bring your broadcasting mentor with you too. You know? No, but they were dropping balls left and right. And look, I still feel like the Packers have the ability to get to the Super Bowl. This is what I mean. I mixed it up. The Lions' schedule is not
as tough. Oh, you're talking about the Packers.
Look at the Packers. Their schedule is a monster. Because I don't consider Minnesota like a gimme. I mean, they're not as good as some of these other teams. Right. You got
KW
2 against Minnesota. You got 2 with Chicago.
I don't think Minnesota or Chicago is good.
Chicago's 7-3. Okay, I'm just saying. Right. And you got Denver and Baltimore and Detroit.
Okay.
So, like, they got their – look, on the good side is that Chicago is a team you're fighting with for playoff position. Yep. So you got a chance to control that. Same with Detroit. But their schedule is really tough.
You really can cement yourself as the show's Packers guy.
I've been with J.O.
Brew KW.
No, I don't.
He wants out. He wants out.
Oh, I do not.
Again, as Wild said on Friday, you talk about the Ravens with such vigor and passion.
Well, they're
and
my
belief.
main pick.
I understand. But this team's 6-3-1. The Ravens are, and you're like, it's like,
The Packers haven't looked good since week 2. and maybe, look, we know the Commanders aren't as good as we thought.
So maybe just
really
week
haven't looked good since week 1.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm with them. I'm with them.
So, look, man, I don't need my faith to be restored. There was nothing wrong with my faith in this team. As long as they have Jordan Love, I recognize that they haven't had the same ability to run the football as they did last year. I recognize that. My eyes don't lie to me. What I do realize is Matt LaFleur is going to have to make a decision and say, Jordan, receivers, we need you to win games, period. I don't care who's available, who's not available. Their season is aligning very similarly, oddly enough, just like ours did when we won it in 2010. Like the injuries, the quarterback just depending on the receiver play, not really having the run game. Josh Jacobs gets hurt. Ryan Grant got hurt. Jermichael Finley got hurt. Obviously, Tucker Kraft gets hurt. They're going to need more out of Jordan Love and these receivers. You talk about those drops, we can't have that. They have to be better for their quarterback. I think that they will. And more importantly, probably even that side of the ball, defensively, they cannot continue to give up so much yardage. I know they're not allowing a lot of points at times, but just allowing teams to build confidence like the Giants, like you did and provided for the Giants and that Jameis Winston-led team, like you can't keep doing that. When you have the talent that you have on that defense, you got to close these games out and help your offense out.
What are the Steelers going to do with an injured Aaron Rodgers? That is next on First Things First. Welcome back to a Monday episode of First Things First. Steelers won the battle, lost the war. Pittsburgh beats the Bengals. But reports are that Rodgers has a fractured left wrist. Is Pittsburgh in trouble if Aaron misses time and it's Mason Rudolph time?
I don't necessarily think that they're in trouble, simply because of the way their defense is playing right now. Aaron is not, obviously he's been a huge boost to them in that quarterbacking position, being consistent and not turning the ball over a lot. But they haven't been an explosive offense all season long. What I am seeing out of this defense is a defense that's waking up and turning you over.
You know, it's in their DNA. It's their culture.
I mean, that's what a lot of people say. That's what a lot of people say. And as long as they continue to do this, And Mason Rudolph, if he's going to be your guy moving forward, gets under center and he doesn't turn the ball over, I think he can consistently do the things that now as far as putting them in the right plays, I can't speak to that, but his ability to throw the ball, make the right decisions, I think he's been around long enough to where he can do those
I
things.
don't think they'll be that different, bro. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is playing it. I think he was giving you like the 22nd best quarterbacking in the league.
It's almost what they signed up for.
Right, and I think Mason Rudolph will come in and give you like the 25th best quarterback. You know what and so he'll be better than the guys who are either rookies or not, other injured replacements.
Right.
Like, I think he is an above average backup. And I think Rodgers was playing like a low level starter. And the delta between above average backup and low level starter is, not that much. So I don't think it is, oddly, all that significant. Because I don't think they were going to win a lot of games moving forward through Rodgers' right arm.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously I think they're in trouble with or without Rodgers. Like, I think the Ravens are going to overtake them. But with Mason Rudolph, yesterday they looked at times better just because he was throwing the ball more downfield than Rodgers was. But over the rest of the season, I would think they'd be better with Rodgers. I think they probably feel more confident with him because of his pedigree, right? And he's just been there. But look, if Rodgers is out next week, I gave them, they play Chicago, I believe, a good chance of beating Chicago. But with Rudolph, I don't give them as good of a chance. So I think they'll fall off earlier. But look, I just think the Steelers are what they are anyway, which is a team that'll maybe be in the hunt for that 7th playoff seed, whether Rodgers or Rudolph is
You're still like, just because for this show, a lot of our Steelers conversations are either tangentially or directly a Ravens conversation.
Right.
This week, the Steelers looked better than the Ravens. Would you agree?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of putting you on the spot.
I do think the Browns are tough. I mean, I know they don't win games.
The Browns are the
if they had a
bizarro
quarterback,
Bengals. Right? But
if they had a quarterback, they'd be.
Yeah, and if the Bengals had a defense, you know what I mean?
But I don't think Flacco. See, I expected Flacco to come back to earth.
Sure,
I didn't think he was going to continue to play like Joe Burrow.
No, and that's totally fair, and he did. I guess you are more confident in the Ravens running down the Steelers than I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I expect the Ravens and Steelers to split their matchup. And so that would then give...
And that could division...
Right. That would give the Ravens 5 games to make up a game, and depending on either 1 or 2 games. If they split their matchups...
The Steelers have a couple of other teams.
Yeah, and so, the Steelers have a tougher end-of-season schedule, but the Ravens have a bunch of divisional games, and one of those... The Steelers are done playing the Bengals. The Ravens are probably getting the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Right? That's an interesting one. Don't the Ravens have the Patriots and the Packers?
They
Patriots, Packers.
Yeah.
So
the Patriots, Packers, 2 against the Steelers. A Bengals game with Joe Burrow,
I just think the Ravens, and they haven't looked this way since Lamar got back, but their ceiling is so much higher.
I totally agree.
And I expect their offense to get close to
I need to see the offense look like it did before that Chiefs game. That's what I need to see.
Seahawks, Rams, pumpkin mode. Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions in the biggest game of the year. His biggest game of the year. Are you allowed to criticize him or even have a news read? I guess not. Take a listen.
I mean, Sam's been balling. Like, if we want to try to define Sam by this game or what, man, Sam's had us in every game. So for him to sit there and say, oh, that's my fault. No, it's not. It was plays that defensively we could have made plays. There were opportunities where we could have got better stops. Yeah, I mean, it's football, man. And he's our quarterback. We got his back. And you got anything to say, quite frankly, you.
Okay. Well, seems like a lot at the end. Hey. Good teammate.
Great teammate.
Seems like a lot at the end.
That's what I want to hear if I'm Sam Darnold. I'm serious. Greg?
Great
Come
teammate.
on. Even if in his mind he's like, man, yeah, Sam was bad. That's what you want to hear.
A little much for me.
KW,
he played terribly. As bad as he played, you need to go that much further in the opposite direction to get his confidence.
You remember a few weeks ago, Brew, when Wilds had that really, really awful show?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody tweeted to me, or tweeted to us talking trash about him. I DM'd that guy the exact same thing. Hey, man, Wilds been carrying us for all football season. Bleep you, man. I disagree about pumpkin mode.
You don't think he went pumpkin mode? You think the
Deer in the headlights mode, different modes, just like trap game. Pumpkin mode is what we are afraid Daniel Jones is going to do. I mean, I'm picking on Daniel, but I'm saying a quarterback that we don't think is good, that played well for a couple month stretch, and then is going to turn into a pumpkin. Darnold, I said it last week, and I stand by it. I think he's graduated out of that. He has multiple seasons now, big stretches of high-level football. Deer in the headlights mode might be a little worse, though. Because it's like, doesn't matter how well you're playing consistent it is.
He's going to fool you.
Well, when the spotlight gets bright, which is what happened to him last year, and now it's happened to him again. That's what is concerning. The concerning is it's just big games. That Darnold has found his equilibrium as a quarterback. He's, in multiple systems, multiple styles. He's been really good. And then in the biggest spots, it's not like, oh, he's not quite as good. He has been a turnover machine. Well, that's the concern if you're Seattle, to me, bro.
I agree that that's a concern because last year against Detroit in that winner-take-all game, he didn't play well. Then in the playoff game. I will give him this, though. Against Tampa Bay, he threw 4 touchdowns. 1 interception. That's a big game. Jacksonville, 2 touchdowns, no picks. I mean, Jacksonville right now is in the play. So
he has good games.
I will give him. But these are pretty good teams, though. I'm just saying because I get the thought of big games, man. And this was a game. Hey, it's a prove-it game, and he didn't do it. But he threw every interception. There were like at least 2 Rams
he
right there. He
was trying to make superstar throws.
Yeah, and that was what was concerning. Like, he was throwing them in the team meetings, if you will, because it was at least 2. Like, there, you see there's 2 Rams right there. I mean, he threw it right to that guy.
Yeah, the first one was the worst.
There's 2,
The first one was the worst one. Look, he knows he can't play like this. I love everything that his teammates said, though. And you talked about this. I'm going to use a word, and you talked about this a couple weeks ago. You're all about vibes.
Yeah, I'm a big vibes guy.
When you hear a teammate stand 10 toes down and defend another teammate that we would all say, man, if he just only had 3 of those, they possibly win that game. And they speak to them needing to be better on that side of the ball when we watched with our own eyes and was like, man, that defense was great. Even despite the 4 turnovers and having given the Rams extra possessions, they still, the moment they got the first turnover, you're not getting in the end zone, no points. To say we could have done more, it shows me a sign of a team that understands we're going to need him just like he's going to need us. We're not going to allow this one game to divide us at all. We believe in who he has been. We don't believe in what he just did.
I buy all that.
I like that a lot.
I like all that. I buy all that. But fair or not, the end of last season plus this game.
Nick,
even even if he's excellent from now until week 18, that concern is going to be banging around everyone's head when the playoffs start.
Until he plays a good win.
Absolutely. It'll be a concern for us. Last year, the last game of the season to win the division, when he was in Minnesota, you alluded to it against Detroit. Did we hear any of the Vikings speak up the way not the coach, any of the players?
Defending him
in this manner.
After that.
Did we hear any of the players doing that after the postseason game? No. When you hear players stand up like this, midseason, and understanding who he has been for us, and feeling like literally saying he's the reason why we're here. He's the reason why we're in these games. Nobody believed in this team to start the season, but they did. And one of the reasons why, because of what he has been at the quarterback position. So for him to have a bad game in the team, the vibes that they have created to say, no, man, I'm not going to let y'all bash my quarterback. He's not that guy that he used to be. He's different. and he's going to continue to be different. When it comes time and those lights are bright, he going to remember, my guys got me. I got to show up for him.
You can play that card once.
You can.
That's all I'm saying. You're another multiple. Yeah,
I'm with you there. I'm with you there.
It's an early card to play. I'm just saying. Coming up next.
We're going to talk about the Rams, but also Jamar Chase suspended.
Jamar Chase suspended 1 game for spitting. He will miss the Patriots game. Complain about the schedule if you want. What do you want us to do? Everybody
No,
is.
This was a. I want to talk to you about that.
Wednesday night, Arizona and UConn. Look at Solo Ball ready to take over college basketball. Then also 8th-ranked Alabama takes on number 14 Illinois. This is all Wednesday right here on FS1. I'm excited for this.
And if anybody wants to talk about Purdue hoops, DM or message our producer Dusty.
Yep.
So he stops putting it in the show.
Ideally
rundown.
around 10 a.m. where our meeting is.
Yeah, I mean, this guy.
It's all right, we got to get to the news.
A lot of people working on this show. He's like, Purdue, best in the
Jamar
nation.
Chase said he did not spit on anybody after the game. The video says, video says otherwise. He is now suspended for 1 game. That game will be against the Patriots, who do have an easy schedule. What do you want me to do? Now Jamar Chase, no Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the other side of this argument
I can't
is.
wait to hear his answer to the questions. So, Jamar, you said you didn't spit on Jalen.
It's inexcusable.
What happened? Absolutely. The suspension's what I expected, and it's fully warranted.
Yeah, it's. I mean, we don't have to rehash everything said about Jalen Carter. All of it still applies.
Yeah.
And I do wonder if they had seen this in real time, would they have not ejected Ramsey?
Correct.
Because I would argue.
I
would argue you don't eject him.
I agree.
What? I mean, it's a great conversation.
Yeah. If you
get spit on, you can take someone's helmet off and punch them and take their helmet off.
I mean, again, I guess the short answer is yeah.
Yeah.
I think that if I'm a rep and I see that, and then Ramsey's like, wait, bam, bam, I'm like, all right, don't do that, but I understand.
You just separate them and kick out Chase, to be honest.
But also, the other thing is this. In all seriousness, just for a moment, Jamar Chase, I understand the team's probably not going to make the playoffs. I get it. Joe Burrow is fighting to come back. Without Joe Burrow, you're the best player and highest paid player on that team. And now you're going to miss a game because you spit on a guy. Like that is inexcusable. That's inexcusable.
Yeah, you just can't.
Chase, great player. That's inexcusable.
That's just.
That's your update. Rams caught 15 passes from Stafford, 4 from Darnold, but needed a missed field goal to topple the Seahawks, 21-19. LA moves to 8-2. What did they prove to you on Sunday?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, good win. What? But the fact that they barely won after getting 4 interceptions.
They caused the interceptions, bro.
No, but I'm saying when you get the opposing quarterback throws 4 interceptions, to me it shouldn't be that close. I'm not saying it can't be a fairly close game, but they could have easily lost that game. Now, Stafford was fine. I mean, he didn't throw for a ton of yards, 130, had 2 touchdowns. But I'm just saying, I hold them in high regard already. So they didn't move up in my hierarchy. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, and I think the Rams are a contender, but I don't, they didn't get any higher in my eyes. I didn't say, oh, wow, what a great win. I thought it was tougher than it should have been, considering you got 4 interceptions.
This moment, Brew, if you had to say second best team in the NFC, aren't they the only allowable answer?
I think because I think there's a group of teams that are jammed, and if you want to put them in second, but I don't feel like they're on the Eagles level right now.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a very impressive win. As much as we've talked about the Seattle Seahawks, specifically their defense and what they've been able to do to stifle opposing offenses, and even when you look at them offensively, what Sam Darnold and that offense had been able to do the last couple weeks, they said not today. Like their defense showed up and was the better of the two defenses.
Correct.
Period.
Their defense was better, two defenses, and their quarterback's bad game was 2 touchdowns as opposed to 4
It doesn't
picks.
bother you that you almost lost that game on a field goal.
Absolutely.
When you got 4 turnovers.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm 100% with you. But when you play a team like this, the Seattle team, and they have a really good defense, you look at that film and you're more disappointed because you didn't perform in the red zone the way you should have. Right. You didn't take advantage of those turnovers the way you hoped you could have taken advantage of those.
Listen, everybody knows the Bucs are my NFC Super Bowl team, but the Rams are a really good-looking
You talking
team.
about me.
There
Already?
we go.
Here we go again. Talking about me having a wandering eye.
It
looks like it's a short one.
Out of all the bits we do, and we try hard to entertain you. I hate this. Is this a letter?
I don't know. It's just a card.
Oh, to Nick from you know who.
A lipstick.
No lips.
No, it's
just we spend more money on these horrible blue spray.
I'm just saying they're a good-looking team. Second year in a row.
Why don't you do it now? Because you have.
No, we
I
have
have
to
convinced
draw it
you
out
that the
for
Bucs
weeks.
are nothing more than a cute team.
The Bucs.
They're glamorous. They're a brick house. All right, they're not just cute. Go ahead.
I told you.
What are they?
We're gonna do a whole
They're
thing.
a brick house.
We're gonna do a whole thing. We're
A
gonna be
fox.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go. Here we go.
Just go. Roll the tape.
Just think about this take. Just think about the take. What is he talking about? It's a show that is expecting fireworks for the next 22 minutes. It's first things first, overtime. You guys battling it out. I thought it was mean-spirited what he wrote to you.
Whoa!
And Danny, I thought it was mean-spirited what Nick wrote to you.
Okay, well then that's fair.
No, it's mean-spirited. Today,
All the way around.
6 touchdowns for Josh Allen, 2 interceptions.
He's good.
Is that actually the recipe for success? Meanwhile, Eagles Super Bowl faves. Lane Johnson out for a month at least. But are the Rams actually the best team in the NFC? We discussed, but right now, we're headed back to Denver. Chiefs, Broncos, Mahomes, Bo, Peyton versus Reed, also Peyton versus the ref that he knocked down. Here's Patrick postgame.
Obviously, it's going to be tough to get back in the division race, but at the end of the day, all the goal is to get into the playoffs and try to make a run at it. And all you can focus on is next week. We got to learn from this one as much as possible, knowing that we're going to get a great opponent coming into Arrowhead this next week. And we're kind of at that point where we got to find a way to win football games and got to keep moving forward. That's what this league's all about.
Were you shocked by this game?
As shocked as I have been by any game the Chiefs have played in a very, very long time. Okay, this guy.
Oh, wow.
This guy.
We've
Right
entered
here
the,
and now?
the carrot top.
This guy.
Program.
High top fade, right?
Listen.
College style.
Listen.
0.
Trust me, more than you would believe, I would love to take you up on that. The reason
Really?
I said, yes, I've been dying to
You may
shave
have
my
it right
head
now.
for 2 years. I am not allowed to. According to these two gentlemen,
We did that. Been there, done
they
that.
said
You don't have all time.
Been
they
there,
said,
done that.
evidently, amazingly, no, I
Wow.
don't.
Tough time.
But if you would,
Sorry.
I was stunned. And, I mean, I know everyone at the table was probably a little surprised. I think we all picked the Chiefs. But I did not. Them losing in that fashion, where they had so many opportunities from the very first play of the game was a sack. All year long, you get Bo Nix in 2nd and 16. The drive's over. Like, I think that's why they dialed up a blitz on first down, like forcing it into a quick 3 and out. But that kind of set the template for what the game was going to be. They gave up a 3rd and long. Later in that drive, they gave up another 3rd and 11. And at the very end of the game, with 2 minutes left, they gave up a 3rd and 15 when they could have gotten the ball back. In the middle of that, the Chiefs' offense sputtered, and Patrick had a terrible pick. They had the ball up 3 in the fourth quarter, went 3 and out. And then the most devastating part of it all was they got the ball with 4 minutes left tied. And hand to God, when they missed the extra point, or when it got blocked, I said to Deanna, who my youngest daughter was watching me, I was like, I don't hate that. I was like, I was like, up 4, the other team, I didn't like it for my bet, -3.5, but up 4, the other team's like in 4 down territory, they've got to go for I was like, but now up 3, it's very likely the scenario is Patrick gets the ball back with a few minutes left in a tie game. And that's exactly what happened. And then they went 3 and out anyway. And now they're up against it in a very real way. So, yeah, I was shocked by that.
I picked the Chiefs. I bet the Chiefs. I was shocked by it also. And I'm not willing to be as apocalyptic as some and say that, like, the dynasty is over or anything ridiculous like that. I do think the playoffs is a legitimate conversation. Yeah. But the most shocking thing about that game to me was that Bo Nix outplayed Mahomes. And we can talk about specifics of Bo Nix. Mahomes was bad. And I know that Broncos defense is awesome, but like Andy Reid with extra time to prepare in a virtual must-win game, great offensive coach, great offensive talent. They've fixed their offensive line. They've got the receivers. Like, the numbers are one thing, and we should show them just to, like, it's empirical that he was outplayed by Bo Nix. But I didn't recognize Mahomes. Like, the interception that he threw was terrible. And it was, all right, fine, bad decision, unnecessary. You could have gotten a field goal in the moment and been fine. But what about the one that was called off the board?
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the worst throws that I've ever seen Mahomes have, and he is bailed out by a very soft illegal contact penalty there. Yeah. That should have been a pick six the other way, and we're talking about, is that the worst throw of Mahomes' career? And so it just, to me, what was jarring about it is that he's had 3 games this year with a passer rating under 80. I don't know what to point to as the reason. It's not the receiving core. Mm-hmm. His guys are out there. It's not the offensive line, and I know there was some injuries in the game. But
the offensive line was fine yesterday.
Yeah,
that wasn't the issue.
It was just I didn't recognize number 15 on the Chiefs. And that part is just like, it knocks you a little bit. It staggers you.
Yeah, no, look, and I said it earlier as well. I agree. Mahomes has to play better. This was supposed to be the year he bounced back from those couple of subpar seasons by his standards, especially once he got his full receiving core back. And he has it now. And that's something that was concerning and a bit surprising. I don't think I was as surprised as you guys. I went in saying it's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. I remember how tough Denver played them last year when they didn't win. And so I thought they had a chance. But the Chiefs are fully healthy outside of not having Isaiah Pacheco.
No, they're healthy.
Right.
By NFL standards, they're healthy.
Yeah, and Denver wasn't. I mean, they didn't have Patrick Surtain, the reigning defensive player of the year. They didn't have Alex Singleton, their number 1 tackler. And they also didn't get a ton of pressure on Mahomes. By their standards, they had 3 sacks. They averaged almost 5. They pressured him on 28% of his dropbacks. 28%. Buffalo was like over 50%.
Yeah, I think that was part of them getting the ball out, or it was part of the Chiefs'
he was
offense.
Getting it out early. But he also had time to throw some downfield shots too that he overthrew. He missed some. Now he connected with Thornton on the 1 in the second half, but he missed some of those too and wasn't as accurate.
So listen, just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree with a lot of what you said there. Listen, Bo Nix did play better. That was a bad game. As far as this was supposed to be the year, I think 3 weeks ago, Mahomes was 3rd on Bruce ballot, and going into the bye, he was 2nd in the league in yards and touchdowns. So, that has fallen off a bit because he didn't play a game, and then I don't know where he is now.
He had that stretch because early on.
Post tackle that turned the tide, he was playing great.
T3 man.
And so I do think over that it's the majority of this season, you have seen the Chiefs offense operate at a higher level than it was operating out last year. What's not happening is they are not executing in the winning moments. They are right. They are not situationally the better team day in, day out. They have awful penalties at the worst times. They have a ton of special teams miscues. Listen, you guys know that I think Andy Reid's one of the greatest coaches of all time, and I don't know if I've ever really criticized him during this run, and this isn't a criticism, this is an observation. You just said Andy Reid with extra time. The last 3 games the Chiefs have played with extra time to prepare, they've looked awful. The Super Bowl, the Chargers game, and yesterday. Like, that just, again, that to me is just interesting more than
it's
anything
anecdotal,
else.
Right?
Right.
Yeah, but it's not the same as a bye week kind of.
No, well, I mean, the Super Bowl is a bye.
I get it,
and
it's different.
It is, all of that stuff is just, I don't know, angsty for me. And what is true is that they're up against it now. That Jags loss looms so impossibly large if you believe that the Jags are going to beat the teams they're supposed to beat, then it will ultimately come down to, in all likelihood, the Chiefs against the Chargers for the final playoff spot.
This Colts game is going to be fascinating.
This is huge.
Colts off a bye, too.
This is huge.
Like Colts with extra time to prepare
with
for the
Lou
Chiefs.
Anarumo as the D coordinator.
Yeah. No, this is a huge
I
game.
don't like that at all. Let's head to Buffalo, where Josh scored 6 touchdowns for the Bills' 7th win. He also had 2 interceptions. Here he is post-game.
We just got to do a good job of, again, not riding the wave. Trying to stay as level as possible, not getting too high, not getting too low. You know, starting off 4-0 and we're the best team in the world. We lose 2 in a row. Now we're the worst team in the world, and it's like we don't want to ride that. We just want to stay here, stay consistent, continue to work hard, put together game plans, and go out there and execute on game days.
Okay, do you think Josh's performance put the league on notice?
Yeah, I do. Because he's a one-man offense. Not that James Cook isn't great, not that their offensive line isn't great.
Well, that's 6 guys.
But no. But what you guys have been talking about all day is that he's got to kind of go YOLO and be risky and be a playmaker. It's why, to me, when he's on, he's the most fun player to watch. Like, I'm with you, Mahomes, it's his era. I've always said the argument should be for the second best player, and I don't think there's much of an argument. I think Josh Allen is the second best player to Mahomes in football over a 5+ year sample. But that's the only guy that can have the game that he had yesterday. And not just evidenced by the fact that he's the only one to have 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. It's the rushing touchdown is a 9-yard run. It's not tush pushes. Right. It's not 1-yard sneaks. Like, he is making those throws. And that the 50-yard run to Johnson, like the little swing pass, that inflated his numbers.
Yeah.
The other one where he's maneuvering around in the pocket and dancing back there and then chucking it deep down the field, that's the stuff that Mahomes can do. I like to think that Caleb can do, but it's a short list of guys that can really make those types of plays, and it's why they're only a couple weeks removed from beating the Chiefs, and then you see that they've got a quarterback who can do that. They're scary. They are.
Yeah. Look, Josh was fantastic, and that's the version I think they need to win the Super Bowl. They have to let him be himself. Some of that's going to be reckless. He had 2 interceptions yesterday. He's going to have some turnovers, but he's going to make up for most of them, if not all of them, with some huge chunk plays. And they've tried this, take the ball out of his hands, let's win conservatively. I don't think they have the surrounding cast for him. As good as James Cook is, he's not Saquon or McCaffrey or Jonathan Taylor, like at their height. I don't think he is. He's really good, but he's not those guys. So I think this is what they need. I don't know that it scares the league or puts them on notice. I still think the Bills are a very good team that's a contender.
But don't you think they're the type of team that, like, say they're a wild card team? That's a tough draw.
Oh, yeah.
My God, I got to play Josh Allen in the 5-4 game or the 6-3 game.
I don't want them with any version of Josh Allen as a wild card, but, I
Can I ask you this, Brew? And I understand, listen, both of our Super Bowl picks that we're not moving off of and that we feel good about are both currently out of the playoffs. Right? I mean, that's just where it is. If the playoff bracket froze.
As it is
right now, wouldn't you consider Buffalo the scariest team?
Yes.
Yeah,
in the AFC.
All right, that's what I mean. In the AFC
I would
bracket.
look at it at Buffalo, Philly.
Right. And so if it froze right there right now. And
He's not scared.
So that's what I wanted to ask you. This is what because I think that if putting the handcuffs on Josh Allen only makes sense if you have an awesome defense and you feel like you can unlock them, break glass in case of emergency if you needed it. I said all week going into this that they needed to just listen, let Josh be Josh. He wants to do goofy stuff. He wants to be a bull in a china shop, and he also wants to put up stat lines no one's put up in the history of football. That's the scariest version of Buffalo. I am stunned that you are 1 3-point great win, but in the final moments win over a team and a player who has owned you his whole time in the league. It took one game that was 20-20 with a minute left for you to be like, that team's not scary anymore.
Well, why did we win the game? Because we made a great pick on Josh. And it's like, oh, we won the other game because Josh gave us one. I think last year Josh gave us a game. And if you guys want to have Superman Josh throwing the ball all over the place, so be it. But all through the playoffs, we'll be like, you know why the Rams lost? Matthew Stafford dropped the ball. You know why Jalen Hurts lost the Super Bowl? He lost the ball. What happened to Lamar? He lost the ball. Threw a pick. Oh my goodness! Poor Zay Flowers had one unsportsmanlike conduct or something. We
no, it was.
So we're already at we trust Drake May more than Josh Allen. We're at that portion of the NFL season.
I think you should be. Yeah, I trust Josh McDaniels. Okay. Here's what I
think that's
I think your view.
Yeah. See, I can't.
Are we talking about trust to win a playoff game, or are we talking about trust in the game plan? Because you guys are arguing that the only path to success is this wild style.
No, what I'm arguing is I think
style.
that their defense is not very good, and so they need to be able to put up 30 plus.
I view it like a boxing match, and you're like, this guy just throws crazy punches, and if he catches you one, like, all right, I'll take this. Just like, gotcha.
Yes, but the reason I'm surprised, and again, I said going into last week, I thought it was going to be Patriots Chiefs AFC Championship game. I respect what your team's done. You're talking about all these playoff games and the way people lost. How did you guys lose the last time you were in the playoffs?
Oh, Josh Allen killed us.
Josh Allen played a perfect football game, playing this style.
If you play perfect, of course. But if you want to do, every once in a while you will have one of these, and every once in a while you will have a game that you lose that you shouldn't. But playing like this, you can lose to the Jets if you want to play like that.
See, and that's where I kind of disagree. I think this was.
He lost to the Jets the Aaron Rodgers year playing like that.
I understand that there was the game against Jets where he had 3 turnovers. The point that I'm trying to make is I don't look at the game yesterday as the A+ version of the Josh Superman game. Because I think that we have seen him play games like this without this pass, where it's just the awesome stuff. You also have it. You also have the turnover. The playoff game against you guys was the A+ game.
That is the A+ game.
Yeah,
the A game, but that's in there though. I thought you guys were saying like you're willing to take this and those long.
I mean, listen, I'll take that. I'll take that game. I'll take the game where he scores 44. Like to me, it's like their best is as high of a level, is as good as any team in the league.
Is part of your conviction that he won't run roughshod over us like that because you got a great defense?
Yeah.
Do the Patriots have a great defense this year?
We have a good rushing defense.
Great rush defense.
Yeah, nobody can run on you guys, but people can throw. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to.
I'll go so far as this. I think come playoff time, I'm scared. I'm more scared of conservative kill us Josh Allen. I just don't think they have the horses for it. So they're gonna have. He's like, you go Superman. Okay.
Yeah.
You can win one. I don't think you think you can win the Super Bowl like that.
I do.
The only thing that stopped him so far is
I think a hot quarterback can carry a team and play like an MVP. By the way, one more game, Bucs Rams away from them going from 6-2 to 6-5.
No,
that was a good take.
Yep.
That was
exactly.
All right, NFC South champs.
We should have probably led with this part here.
Oh boy. Justin Herbert versus the Prince. Playoff rematch. Herbert throws for 81 yards.
You said playoff rematch. I thought it was interesting. They took Herbert out down 29. We know when these teams meet, that's nothing.
That's a good point.
Teams come back from 4 scores down in this matchup all the time.
Colts lose by 29. Here's Harbaugh.
81 yards, Dan?
We just weren't doing anything well. Offensively, we weren't running the ball well. We weren't protecting. We weren't getting open. And defensively, same. We weren't stopping the run. We were loose in coverage. Yeah, I mean, go through every phase, and we got beat every which way you could get beat.
Danny, you're not bailing on this team, are you?
No. Wait, I'm confused. That game proved what I've been saying.
That Josh
he should be in the MVP.
MVP.
All right, listen.
Is that true?
Let me be very.
You think he's still in the MVP race?
Let me be very clear. Justin Herbert was bad yesterday. I'm not going to try to defend that.
Okay.
But the supporting cast around him has been bad the majority of the year.
How's the defense been the majority of the year?
Well, they're allowing over 30 points per game in their 4 losses.
Right. No, but what about in their wins? So the defense, when they win, and the defense is awesome, Herbert gets the credit, and the points per game allowed in the losses.
Am I the only person that does some quarterback analysis in sports television? Yeah, that is part of it. Like yesterday, his running backs accounted for 20 yards on 10 carries, and again,
he only accounted for 80.
80 passing,
80 passing.
21 rushing. Yeah, again, Justin Herbert was bad, but when he is the most hit quarterback in the history of the NFL and the most pressured quarterback in the history of the NFL since as long as we've been tracking the data, and that is true, that's what it's been, when he plays less than perfect, it gets ugly. Nick, he was...
Hold on, real quick, just to be clear.
Yeah.
Because you said the history of the NFL.
Yeah, well, one of those hits we tracked through 2006. Pressures has been tracked since 2016.
Okay, I got it. I just want to understand. So the last 20 years.
Since tracking began.
Since tracking began.
And again, like it's not the. That's fine.
Okay, as long as we have the data, Brew, it's the most pressures we've seen and the most hits we've seen. Yesterday, he was pressured on 52% of his dropbacks. Jacksonville blitzed 3 times.
Yeah.
Every time he snaps the ball, he's under pressure.
So why do you keep believing in this team?
Because he's awesome.
But okay,
and they're 7-4, and they beat the Chiefs head up.
Right. So
normally he's good enough to overcome it. Yesterday he wasn't.
But it can't be. I believe this team's good. I believe this team can go on a run. I believe this team's going to win this game. And then when they don't, and in fact it's not close, and they get annihilated, he doesn't have the horses. And it can't be that last year, when they have the #1 scoring defense in football, and this year, I think they were number 6 going into this game, that he has no help whatsoever on the roster. And it can't be it's all that doofus Brandon Staley's fault, and now he has Jim Harbaugh, and it's like, oh, wait, where's the coaching help? And it can't be last year, they should have let him throw more, and now this year, he is throwing more, and you're like, God dog it. He sure gets hit and throws a lot of picks. When reality is, maybe it's just that for the 3rd straight time, he got outplayed by a quarterback who also was very highly drafted, also has slightly underachieved, except at least my guys won a playoff game. I'm just telling you.
You don't even believe this.
I don't know. They played 3 times. He's annihilated them. Look at the team points per game. Look, 35-15, Brew.
You had me until the graphic.
Well,
Trevor Lawrence is not on the level of Justin
don't call him
Herbert.
Trevor Lawrence. Can we get his real moniker, please? Come on, Brew.
Trevor?
No, come on,
Trev?
Brew.
He is not on. You know he is not as good.
What the hell?
Really?
Wild's loaned him back to me for a game. One day.
He's having a rough week.
All it takes to get Trevor back going is to see Justin Herbert across the field. There we go. Gentlemen, you look great in those colors.
Is there no integrity to a trade?
I know.
Gianna, check our socials for the negotiation.
What?
It's going to come down to Herbert and Mahomes in the final playoff spot. Do you still believe the Chargers are going to make the playoffs?
I mean, They already beat Mahomes heads up.
Do you, right now, this moment, do you believe the Chargers are going to make the playoffs?
Yes.
There we go. Great job. Gentlemen, can you play us off? More first things first, overtime, when we return.
Dirty pool right
No,
here.
I'm just curious. They have a terrible offensive line.
I was going up against Trumpeteers. Unbelievable. Last night, the Lions were in Philly taking on the Eagles. It was 135 yards and a rushing touchdown for Jalen Hurts. But it was enough to get the win, as Jalen had high praise for Philly's defense that held a Dan Campbell play-call-led offense to just 9 points. Here's Philly's quarterback. Take a listen.
Defense playing lights out. Defense playing lights out. One of the best performances I've ever seen. So, really, really big-time game on that side of the ball.
All right, gentlemen, bigger story here. The Eagles' offense, which was not great, but they won, or the Eagles' defense, which was incredible?
It's the Eagles' defense. 2 weeks in a row, they've held their opponent under 10 points. And I think last night they punked the number 2 offense in the league. They held the Lions 0 for 5 on fourth down. Like, that's Lions football. That's what they do. And so when I look at the Eagles and what they're putting together, collectively, they're kicking a lot of tail. And I think if I was to give out a game ball, I would give it to Jordan Davis and how he impacted that line of scrimmage and him using that 6'6" frame to kind of deflect and pat balls. But I think when you talk about the brand in which they're playing, physical, discipline, they look prime for January. And when you put back-to-back weeks and you have that type of performance, it looks like right now there's an identity shift with the Philadelphia Eagles, and it's spearheaded by this defense. I'm going to be honest with you, DP. The Eagles' offense bores me. I care no longer about A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Saquon. It's all boring to me. It's all about the Eagles' defense, and if they continue to play like this, there's not a team in the NFC that wants to see it.
So you said defense, and I agree, but I'm going to go with the offensive side of the ball because you just never know what you're going to get with this offense.
That's a
Obviously, it could be a problem, but it hasn't been a problem. And I think that's why it's odd. With the acquisition of Jalen Phillips, we've seen this defense just take another step in the direction that you hope your team would take a step in. And offensively, you're trying to figure out what can we do to right whatever we feel like is wrong, not what everybody outside us as talking heads believe is wrong, but the guys in the locker room that are making noise about what they feel is wrong. We've tried to throw the ball. We've tried to run the ball. Nothing is really working, but we're still finding ways to win. And so I don't know. I don't know if this could be something that they can sustain. However, if their defense continues to play like this, they have a longer runway to figure it out.
Yeah, listen, do I think it's sustainable to win when your quarterback throws for 135 yards? No, but Jalen Hurts is 8-1 in the last 2 years when he throws for 135 yards or less. So they've made it sustainable. I think it's the defensive dominance. And you mentioned Jalen Phillips. Think about what the Packers had to give up for Micah Parsons, right? Everyone remembers multiple first-round picks and then the biggest contract in history and all that. And then think about what Howie Roseman gave up for Jalen Phillips. Third-round pick. Now, I know they're going to have to sign him at the end of the year if they want to keep him, and I know he's coming off injuries. It's not exactly apples to apples. But you know who has the most pressures in the NFL the last 2 weeks? It's a tie between Micah Parsons and Jalen Phillips.
Oh, wow.
He's got 13 pressures and 1 sack since he's been in Philly. And these are their overall defensive ranks these last 2 games. And it's elite. And then that thing at the bottom, if you can generate that type of pressure and disrupt the quarterback to that level without blitzing, you can win a lot of football games. So I feel like the consternation over the Eagles offense can wait until, A.J. Brown goes on Twitch and starts playing Call of Duty this week.
It tweaks out again.
For now, I got to give them their flowers that they held the Lions to 9 points.
But it's also, you talk about Phillips, but you always got to say Brandon Graham and what he means from a leadership standpoint. Nakobe Dean, ever since he's healthy. You talk about Zach Braun playing behind Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
I'm not saying it's just him. I'm just saying that addition has seemingly put them into a different strategy.
But I'm going to tell you why playing together matters, because one, the tape speaks for itself, but 2, now you can go on the road and get big wins. collectively, when you have a defense playing in this type of groove and everybody understands the assignment, now you don't have to look because everybody's buying it. And for a guy who just came from Miami, you know what that house looks like, for him to land in Philly and say, you know what, I'm ready to roll, I want to play, I want to be Eagle, I want to be here, it's significant. So congratulations to him.
Well, I'm going to stay with the offense side of the ball, but before I do, I'm going to add to what you're saying. The Brandon Graham pickup is huge because it's not that he's going to impact games, but he's going to be another pillar in that locker room. Yep. He gives you depth at that position where you always need a breather of a guy that can get in and rush the passer. But offensively, I know they were able to overcome it last year, and they went on to do great things and win the Super Bowl, and they had issues, and you had the week where A.J. Brown was like, man, what's wrong with the offense? We got to pass the ball. And we were like questioning whether or not they would be able to overcome what was stirring and brewing in that locker room. I think it's worse this year.
Yeah.
And I've been on the side of A.J. Brown and kind of in lockstep, and I could understand his frustration. But when you continue to keep stirring the pot, it's at some point, something's going to spill. And I just feel like if you watch the film and you see the body language, you see the effort, you see the disengagement of how he moves when it's a 3 and out or something doesn't go their way offensively, it's going to rear its ugly head. And you hope you have enough pillars in that locker room to where they can level it out, and it doesn't. But if not, it's going to disrupt what they're trying to do.
Well, I'll say this. Anytime you get called to the principal's office and that's not enough for you to quiet down, then there's nothing we can do for you. Like if Mr. Rooney was to ever call me to his office like, hey, Willie, we need to chill out, and I don't chill out, then I'm going to pack my own bags.
Right, there was the reporting that him and Jeffrey Lurie had the talk in practice.
So if that's not enough for you as a ball player, then you're tripping.
Meanwhile, in Chicago, I'm sorry, your first place Chicago Bears got a win in Minnesota? I'm sorry, another game-winning drive.
It seems like a lot right off the bat.
Not a big deal. 56-yard return. Duvernay set up Cairo Santos for a game-winning field goal. It's nice that gets to go on Caleb's ledger for fourth-quarter comebacks because that was a beautiful handoff to DeAndre Swift.
Beautiful handoff.
Caleb had 193 yards. It was his fifth game-winning drive of the season. It gets lost in the details. Here is Caleb Williams about the big win.
You have to have a killer instinct to be in these games and finish these games the way we have. To fight all the way through and come out victorious, you have to have a sense of killer instinct. We got the coaching staff, we got the players, we got the talent. We just have to go out there and do it.
Gentlemen, the question is, what did this third straight win prove about the Chicago Bears? And I have had my heart broken many times. And so I understand that J.J. McCarthy was awful, and the Bears' record easily could be much worse than 7-3. And they've got problems on the defensive side of the ball. They've got injuries in the secondary. And some of this feels a little flimsy, I'll say.
That's a great word.
But I will admit all of that. I will concede all of those points on the front end. But if you could please throw up the playoff picture in the NFC, but keep the pick. Here's what it proved. I just want this to be my new profile picture on the internet. Because isn't that a beautiful thing? Your first place Chicago Bears at 7-3. Bears are going to the playoffs. They are. It's a race to 10. I'm not saying they're great. I'm not saying they'll win the division. But when you got Pittsburgh, maybe with Mason Rudolph, and you got 2 games still against Green Bay. You could have beat them both last year.
Yeah.
One was on a blocked field goal. One you did win in Week 18. You've got San Francisco, who's in that graphic. You've got another game against Detroit, who's in that graphic. You got to figure out a way to win 3. You got to figure out a way to win 3.
Listen,
and there's 7 left. Bears are going to the playoffs, baby. Get on board.
Listen, I think heart and defense wins you games, gritty wins. I get it, and they seem to have a knack for getting gritty wins. But right now, I'm looking at an offense, I don't know what they can do. I don't know who they are or what they can do. And I'm not a believer that they're even going to make the playoffs, to be honest with you. And I understand offensively they look better from the standpoint they was able to get Cole Kmet and Loveland into the mix and let them be a factor within the game. But I'm not, listen, I love Caleb. I just want him to catch up. I want him to catch up to Ben Johnson. I want him to catch up to his scheme. Because when he's able to catch up to Ben Johnson's scheme, then the playbook goes from a McDonald's menu to that big steakhouse menu where everybody can eat because they have the talent. So I'm with you, DP. When your team's hot, blow the horn. But right now, I'm just not a believer in that in December and potentially January that this offense is going to light it up and come alive for the Chicago Bears. I just don't see it right now.
Look, this has to feel good.
It's good. That's an understatement.
And look, I'm going to be honest. Like, this is huge for the Chicago Bears because these are games that, like, they needed to have in the win column and have stacked and put away. Because what they have coming up,
sure,
when you look at their schedule, it is not going to be easy to get what you're saying is those 3 wins.
You just got to find 3.
Exactly.
You're asking for magic in December. I don't see it.
I mean, you're saying they only need 3, but that is a gauntlet that they have to go.
They can lose to the Browns.
They can lose every one of those games.
Sure, but I guess I would say they can win them too.
Because of what they've done.
They could have gone 2-0 against Green Bay last year. This team is better than last year's team. They easily could have beaten Detroit on Thanksgiving last year when Matt Eberflus forgot that as a head coach he was allowed to call timeouts.
So you can't go off of last year.
I'm saying
you just tell them living on the edge is real for one team, and that's the Chiefs.
Because
they can live on the edge, not the Bears.
When you look at the games that they have won, if we can put their schedule back up really, really quick. Like, the games that they have won, they won against the Cowboys, who aren't going to go make the playoffs, the Raiders,
they have no wins over good teams.
Over not a single. And now you look at the remainder of their schedule, and they have good teams, with the exception of the Cleveland Browns, who are tough out defensively. They have all good teams remaining.
I'm just saying weird things happen every year.
I agree with you.
7 teams get in, and this week it might be Mason Rudolph. You know, it's just sometimes there's just a horseshoe for a collective team.
I just want to see you guys put it together for all 4 quarters. That's not hard to ask.
Especially
if you consider yourself a playoff team.
For this team, it's been a struggle. Unbelievable chess match masqueraded as a football game yesterday between the Rams and Seahawks. Biggest takeaways on the other side. Time now for a little edition of Take That. The biggest takeaways from a power-packed Sunday slate. It was an awesome day in the NFL. We begin in LA. Seahawks took on the Rams. Battle for the NFC West. Battle for a shot at the 1 seed. Battle for a spot at top 10 Tuesdays. Spoiler alert. Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. Stafford had 2 touchdowns. Rams held off the Seahawks at the end. Willie, we'll start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
The Rams spilled the tea about Sam Darnold. He isn't clutch. 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and was crazy. I just thought he was going to step up and be that guy they needed him to be, but the Rams had a plan. They said, hey, man, we're going to rush out 4. We're going to condense the pocket, take away your first option, and when you get to 12 personnel, we're just going to play nickel behind it and force you to make all the right throws. He couldn't do it. You couldn't find the old Sam Darnold on tape. And if you talk about the Rams do really well, they make you tap. They made Sam Darnold tap in this game. Like, he was clearly frustrated. He held on to the ball. He wasn't anticipating the throws, and he looked ugly. So if you're the Rams right now, they laid out the blueprint on how to beat Sam Darnold.
It's kind of like that reminder that it's in there.
Yeah.
That always can't.
He wasn't clutch. They need him to be clutch, and he couldn't get clutch for them.
Like, I've seen him take a 7-sack game, a 4-interception game. All right, so that's your takeaway. What about you, Greg?
Yeah, I'm leaning to Sam Darnold as well. When you look at what he was unable to do, like, this has to be the only time that they see this out of their quarterback. And I know teammates are.
It's on his resume. He has games like
I'm
this.
talking about as a Seahawk.
I got you.
And we've never seen any of his teammates step up to the podium and go to bat for him the way we did yesterday, which I love to see. That means he means something to them beyond the game of football, and he's had an impact. And I believe in Sam Darnold. Like, as easy as it is for us to come up here and say the Rams, and I'm not knocking the Rams, that the Rams made them tap, not everybody can put together the type of game plan and execute it in the manner of which that Rams defensive front can and that defense can. And so moving forward, you have to believe that what we've seen thus far from Sam Darnold, that's going to carry on as well. Knowing now, because we've seen this, this can potentially be what he turns into. I don't believe that to be the case, and for their sake, it cannot be, because this is a really good team with a really good defense, and they've been on a roll offensively. Obviously, they got derailed yesterday.
All right, well, so we'll talk plenty about the Rams this week, and they will be a top Top 10 Tuesday tomorrow, and I think they deserve it. But I actually came away, and maybe this is like a galaxy brain, I never played the game type of thought, but I would say count out the Seahawks at your own risk, because they had a chance at a field goal at the end of that game to win when Sam Darnold threw 4 interceptions. And I know that some of those interceptions were forced through pressures and disguising coverages and like they tricked them and all of that. I get it. But like sometimes those interceptions get dropped. Like that easily could have been merely 2 interceptions, right? Like it was going to be a bad game. It's not always going to be that bad when you get the worst version of Darnold. The Rams scored 3 touchdowns in that game. One of them was a 3-yard touchdown drive, and one of them was a 25-yard touchdown drive, both off of Darnold interceptions, right? So, like, the Rams' offense really struggled against the Seahawks' defense. So I came out of that game being like, I can't wait to see it again in Week 16, and we might see it again in the NFC Championship game. Like, I did not think Sam Darnold, he was terrible yesterday, but I don't know that he's going to hold them back from winning big games this year.
I'm just not going to throw rocks at the Rams for playing complimentary football.
I get it.
That's
yeah,
what you
I'm
do.
definitely not throwing rocks
So
at the Rams.
I get your aspect. We didn't get the so-on-cold,
You're
the
supposed to get blown out when you throw 4 picks.
Yeah, but this is also a damn good defense in the Seattle Seahawks. Like this isn't nobody scoff at. Like if you paid attention to the Seahawks this season, they put a lot of people in the baby seat. I am happy the fact that the Rams defense, because I really thought that the Seahawks defense was going to outplay the Rams defense, but it was the other way around. And you say, sure, it was because they were at home. But you watch this Rams defense. They covered. They condensed the pocket. Those guys showed up, and they really made Sam Darnold look average. And so I get Greg's point where you say, man, well, that was Minnesota Sam Darnold. Same guy, different jersey. That's what it looked like yesterday. And that's what you're scared about if you're the Seahawks.
Let's get to another game here in Ravens and Browns. And we ended up seeing Shedeur Sanders in this one, but the Ravens win streak continued as they try to catch up to Willie's Steelers. Shedeur took his first NFL snaps, 47 yards and a pick. Biggest takeaway from that game for me, gentlemen, is that Shedeur Sanders did not look better than Dylan Gabriel. And all of the conspiracy theorists that, unfortunately, are in media somehow that think like, Kevin Stefanski just doesn't want Shedeur to be successful. And all of the nonsense that I saw out there, like, I understand it was a tough spot for Shedeur Sanders to come in. And I know that the Ravens defense is healthy and playing really well. But let's just look at what happened. Like this is what happened. He had 6 drives. One ended in a punt where he was sacked and fumbled. The next one ended in an interception. The next one, they got a first down on running plays. He got sacked and then they punted. First down on running plays and then a punt, an intentional grounding penalty, and then a punt. Then 2 first downs late that he converted. To his credit, he had like a 20-yard completion in there. And then a turnover on downs that basically ended the game. He did not look like an NFL player yesterday. Not saying it won't be for forever, but he didn't look like it yesterday.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it was a bad day to have a bad day. It was a tough spot to put the kid in. But if you're Kevin Stefanski, you really have to ask yourself, was he prepared for the moment? Because, Greg, you've said in offensive meetings and you've been on the field when the offense is going, your number 2 usually has a couple chops at the ball when the ones are out there. So my point is, if Shedeur Sanders is your number 2, at the end of every practice, I know when I was with the Steelers or Jets, your number 2 would step in and take at least 4 or 5 reps with your ones just to get the 1, cadence down, 2, understand what he needs to do, and understand situational football. If he wasn't prepared, Shedeur Sanders wasn't prepared for that, I'm not surprised we got that output. So Kevin Stefanski has to say, did I prepare Shedeur Sanders for that moment? And if he didn't, it's 50-50. It's on Shedeur and it's on Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, for me, my takeaway was Lamar, he has to use his legs more. Like, I watched this game and I watched Lamar Jackson, and if this offense and this team is going to make any type of noise, he has to be the most scary player on the field at all times. He has to
That was
impose
Myles Garrett yesterday.
Like, I understand. And you understand you're playing against Myles Garrett, so you cannot sit back in the pocket and hold the ball. And I know he's turned into a prolific passer, and he's extremely accurate. And when he does extend plays, he does find guys when they uncover, and he puts the ball on them like a dot. I get all of that. But don't forget what separates you from any quarterback in this game, and that is your legs. Regardless of injury, I don't know how healthy Lamar is, but if he is healthy and he's out there and he's able to play, I need to see Lamar Jackson willingly wanting to use his legs to make that impact on that offense.
Big fallout from the Steelers and Bengals yesterday. Jamar Chase suspended. We discuss. Well, we have breaking news. Jamar Chase has been suspended for spitting, which feels right, honestly. And he was like, yeah, I didn't do it. And then tap and hold for 4K. We caught you spitting. It was pretty obvious. Willie, you wore the black and gold, and you've been known to get into a fracas a time or two.
Yep.
Curious what your reaction would have been if you were on the other side of an incident like that.
Oh, I would have left the stadium in cuffs because I would have been waiting for Jamar Chase at the bus. Let's keep it a buck. Like, I'm not going to lie to you because, listen, I played in the most heated, violent, volatile rivalries against the Baltimore Ravens. I've said unchristian-like things to Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, and T. Sucks. And never during that time when we were going back and forth talking about each other's mamas and all that stuff did I ever think about cocking my mouth back and spitting at one of them. That's not even about a football. That's just a character of a man. That's disgusting. I would have dragged Jamar Chase from end zone to end zone and left with his underwear in my. I would have tried to do everything. I would have tried to hurt that man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I would have tried to hurt that man.
I know you're not.
It's the ultimate sign of disrespect. It's the ultimate sign of disrespect.
It's so dehumanizing.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's not funny.
Willie
said it was funny. Jamar did it's not funny.
He wouldn't have had no stripes on his helmet. I would have dragged him.